The clock strikes 12, I step into the haze. Whispers call me from 1,000 graves. Shadows dance in corners out of sight. I chase the unknown deep into the night. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. A flicker, a chill, a shadowed hand. The unseen lingers where I stand. Through creaking doors and empty halls, I hear the echoes of forgotten calls. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. And the unknown. Eyes that watch from a place unreal, a touch so cold it makes you feel they're near but hidden, veiled in shade. I walk with ghosts, I'm unafraid. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Bizarre and the Unknown. We have a very awesome guest with us today, Mr. RPG himself,
Yeah,
the
buddy.
superstar. How you doing, bro?
Oh my God, I'm doing amazing. I just wish that I was as cool as you between the background, the hat, and the floating hands. I've never been on a podcast this rad. So thank you.
Thank you, man. Hey, Dickie. Man, you know, you and me, we met at the Ozark Mountain Bigfoot Conference.
Yes, we did.
With Roxanne, who's one of my moderators in here, and of course, you know, good brother D.A. Roberts and Pyro, who was there too. So I mean, it was pretty cool, and you know, we kind of hit it off. I loved the stuff that you did. You've done a lot of stuff in your life, man. You've really been blessed with the opportunities to be given. Would you mind to kind of talk a little bit about that with the guest?
I would love to. I'd love to leave you with a quick cliffhanger. I'm a dad of 4 kids, so I've got to go deal with a little mini emergency real quick. And then when we get back, we will dive so deep into it. And we'll talk all about my life of high strangeness. So to all your listeners and viewers, I apologize. Just give me a sec. You know, the parenthood. It's the most
you got to take care of them kiddos, buddy. So while we're waiting on him to get done, he had a kind of a kid thing pop up here at the last second, so we're going to let him handle that. So you can't fault him on that. But he will be back. We as yeah, Dwarf, heck yeah, man. As we dive into things, on this show we talk about a lot of different stuff, and Bigfoot's one of them. Bigfoot is something. It's not my first experience, but it's my third experience, and I've always had a fascination with Bigfoot ever since my very first experience when my great grandpa had talked about it. So we're going to talk about this because I've ran into Bigfoots, different kinds of Bigfoots from around this world. So that's where we'll get into that here in a little bit. With that being said, I want to give you guys kind of an update. Next week, I do have the panel set up. I found out that my text messages didn't go out like they were supposed to. And I'm thinking, if memory serves me correctly, that's when I was having issues with my phone because it wanted to do an update and was forcing me to do an update. So I did get with them. I do have my panelists. Jesus Payon Jr. Will be on. Corey Cole, Mary Ann, my good brother Saint Loco, and man, my brain is not working too good right now. But yeah, we're having a panel coming on. Jeff, I'm sorry, Jeff's going to be on. So it's going to be a good week next week. I haven't done one of those Q&A panels in just a hair over a year. So I wanted to get some new guys on. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, Roxanne, they are, man. I didn't want to do an update, and that phone was forcing me to do an update. So, it did what it did. Hold on. I want to see if I can do something. Nah, I'll just put him backstage until he gets back. About latest. Yeah, Bigfoot, give us a second. Hey, Revered, give us a second. Let him handle the kids real quick, and then when he gets back, we'll have the questions. Moderators, if you wouldn't mind, keep everybody reminded. If you have questions for RPG or myself when he gets back, please put it in capital letters. It's easier for me to pick up, and if I miss it, and I've got my mods that tell me, hey, you missed a question. But we will get into that. I want to kind of introduce you to who RPG is, in case you don't know who he is. So we're going to do that first. Yeah, they do mine too, Roxanne. If I don't do them, they just, they messed it up. So, before, as we're waiting on him, do you guys got any questions for me? Hey, Joneside, any questions for me before he comes back, before we get the show started? Or anything like that. If you do, go ahead and put them in there, and I'll try to answer them. You know what? This may be a good opportunity. I wasn't planning on doing it. Give me a second. Let me load something up, guys. I wasn't going to do it, but this actually gave me an opportunity to go ahead and get the affiliate out of the way for today. This may be perfect timing for that. Give me a moment, guys. I'm loading it up. I didn't want to, beans we have the special guest. I wasn't originally going to do the affiliate. So I think we can go ahead and do that. Yeah. Okay, let me get back in here. Okay, good. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any of the comments. So as we're waiting, we're going to go ahead and do the Dark Angel Medical early, and then pick up from there. Here we go. This is a new commercial that I made.
He comes quiet.
Oops, sorry guys, that's actually the wrong one. Let me try this again. Let me get the right one loaded up. I apologize. I thought I erased that one. I'll have to re-download this. But Roxanne, if you want, go ahead and put Dark Angel Medical in there, being we got a minute while he takes care of the youngins. We'll just get the affiliate out of the way. I'm waiting on it to load. I had to remake it. So yeah, that's why I had to remake it because I noticed I messed a few things up and I kind of changed things up. All right, thank you. Here we go.
He comes quiet, cold of crows, bred like winter in your nose. Foot of the bed, then polite, asking softly for your light.
You stare holes into the wall, hands like paper, helpless small. Every clock hand starts to shake. How much mercy can you take?
Call dark angel medical, call him fast. In the shadows at your shoulder when you're fading black. When his fingers find your heartbeat, digging for control. There's a number in the silence, there's a lifeline for your soul. Call dark angel, call dark angel. She come running down the stairs, folder full of worn out prayers. He's already in the chair. Death just smirks and combs his hair.
Sign here, death says it's routine. Ink like rivers, cold and mean. Then the nurse kicks in the door. Boots like thunder on the floor.
Call dark angel medical, call him fast. When the shadows at your shoulder, when you're fading black. When his fingers find your heartbeat, digging for control. There's a number in the silence, there's a lifeline for your soul.
You don't own me, you don't get the last word.
We've stitched by worse than you, you're just another curse.
Take your contracts, take your claws, take your empty little scroll.
We've got angels in lab coats guarding every fragile soul. Yeah. Call dark angel, call dark angel, call dark angel, call dark angel. Call dark angel medical, call him fast. When he's licking at your laughter, try and drag you back. When his whisper fills the hallway, hungry for control. There's a promise in the panic, there's a hand to hold your soul. Call dark angel, call dark angel, call.
If you're looking for the best first aid kits and trauma kits on the market, look no further than Dark Angel Medical. There's a reason why I asked to promote his show. I absolutely get paid zero money to promote his product. That's how much I like his product. I have 3 of his kits already. I have 2 headrest kits, one in my personal vehicle, one in my work truck, and then I have one that goes on my field bag. If you have, you can use credit card, you can use FHA, SSA, or if you have trouble making full payments like you did on 2 of my kits, you can use Sezzle. Sezzle at the time was 4 payments and it was paid off. You can do up to 5 now on that and get your kits. So look no further for the best on the market than Dark Angel Medical. If you need to get recertified in any type of your first aid works, you can call them. Doc is certified instructor and can recertify you. If you're looking for some quick classes to get a kind of rough idea or refresher on first aid and trauma repairs, you can go to youtube.com/@darkangelmedical5115, or let me scroll up here. Because my chat moved on me. Let me 1 second. Or you can go to the one. I'm about to find it here. Well, I thought I was going to find it here. There we go. Or you can go to Instagram to Dark Angel Medical, and Doc does put videos out there for people to get themselves refreshed. and keep up to par on it. He has different style kits. I use the military version all the time. I'm familiar with combat first aid, enough to get my battle buddy into a safe location so Doc can come get to him. Doc is also the godfather of Kit for Life. If you use that kit to save a life and you let him know, he replaces what you used in that kit for absolutely free. They're not cheap. I'm not going to lie to you. They are pricey, but you pay for what you get, and you can't put a price on life. You know, as he likes to say, their birthdays in boxes. I 100% agree with him on that. So you pay for what you get. So if you're in the market for them, go to darkangelmedical.com. You can use DA's code Crypto20 to get 20% off, and you will not be disappointed. So with that said, we got that out of the way. He's still taking care of the kids, so no big deal. But yeah, I just made that one. I'm still working on it. I was kind of showing everybody what I've been working on with his, and yeah, there is some typos on that. I had trouble writing that song. So hey, Jessica. So I got most of it written, and I had to have the system help me because I just couldn't get it to jive as good as I wanted to. So, but I was pretty happy with how it came out. Yeah, I still think every house should have a boat on the roof. Heck yeah. It looks like it is. Riviera, there's a reason why I use them and I carry them. They are the absolute very best on the market. Doc was an Air Force corpsman, medic. So he knows his medical stuff. Thank you, bud. It's the kind of thing I used to do with fire shows. Hell yeah. I thought it was real good for that type of commercial. It stopped snowing. It's still snowing here. We got light coverage on the ground. It's pretty heavy. It rained quite a bit today. Had a tornado watch, thunderstorm warnings and all that for a good part of the day. And then temperature dropped down. It's 33 degrees here now. Now it's been snowing now for the last 30 minutes. So temperature's dropping. So with that being said, he's still busy. So you guys got any questions for me before as we're waiting on RPG to return? Anything you want to know about Bigfoots or stuff like that? No rain here or any of those warnings? Yeah, I did, man. It was, I popped up I started up the grill, put some steaks out on the grill, got them good little smoke to them, and made me some cheese crackers, homemade cheese crackers. Basically, you just take cheese, fry them up into a cracker, and I ate those with my steaks. And man, it was flat getting it when I had that stove or when I had that grill going. I started it and I was like, man, I think I hear something off in the distance. It wasn't doing much, but so I was like, okay, so I'm still working on it, put the smoke bomb on it so I can get the smoke on the meat, cook the meat for a little bit away from the fire. And as I was about ready to get everything going, it started coming down. I mean, it just it hit. I mean, and it hit solid. So it did that for about 2 hours. Stormed up here for about 2 hours, then it quit. And then a little while later, it started snowing. Actually, it started snowing. Actually, I'm wrong. I think it started snowing just before I got the show started. Probably about 10 or 15 minutes before I started the show. So, but with the wet ground and the warm asphalt from all the warm weather, the roads will be fine up here. So, with that being said, so Bigfoot, man, Bigfoot's an interesting subject, and we talk about it from time to time on here. You guys have heard my opinions and my hypotheses on them. The one type that I think is the last remnants of Neanderthal. You have different kinds. William and I talked a little bit about it this morning. Yeah, it is cold. It is cold. And I just turned my space heater back on because I was like, oh, it's starting to get chilly in this room. So, one of the biggest misunderstandings is people think the big W is a Bigfoot, and it is not. It's not a cryptid. It's not a Bigfoot. That thing is supernatural. It's evil. It's a possession spirit. And that's one thing we need to stop doing in the Bigfoot community is calling that thing a Bigfoot or a cryptid. It's not. It is supernatural. But with that said, there is different types. You got aggressive kind, you got the calm and polite side. Now, both of them can be mean. So both of them styles can be mean by all means, but generally, that guy there is about the most of the aggressive one. Same as the Genoskwa. Yeah, it's not good to call it out by its no. It's not. I said it too many times this morning, so that's why I'm calling. Every time you hear me, revered, say Big W, that's what I'm talking about. I won't say it more than 3 times a day, and I think I said it once or twice this morning. I'm not risking it, and that's why I said Big W. Yeah, who shall not be named. Oh. He who's not. Well, there's female ones too, though, but that's only because the possession spirit takes over the female. But that's what it is. I mean, it takes over the female, it takes over the host and deforms them. It itself is not flesh and blood, but it takes the host of flesh and blood. So, I mean, that's one thing we have to keep in mind on this stuff. So when we're looking into this stuff, there is different types. I mean, you got the typical patty looking one. You've got the humanistic looking one. There is the it's not ape, but it is apish looking. I can see a female being more aggressive. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, there is absolutely different ones there. And some of them, your Gugwe, your Genoskwas, stuff like those. Those are pretty big. Those are on the big W side of, yeah. Those are really aggressive. I mean, Gugwees, their name actually means face eater. That's the name that was given to them because they eat human flesh. Now, one of the native stories about them says that they were all one and the same at one time until I can't remember if it was when white man came or something, but there was a falling out with humans, and some of them wanted to eat them, and the other ones just wanted to stay away from them. So therefore, when that happened, that caused a split in that community, and that's where you get like your Genoskwas and your Gugwees or your patties and so forth. You get that stuff because of that split. So the patty style can be aggressive if backed in a corner. Generally, they're pretty passive. They don't like to, it's kind of like the experiences I have out here with mine. They're not aggressive towards me. Have they been pissed at me before? Yeah, I've upset them, especially when they've done that documentary out here. I don't howl at them. I don't do calls at them. And we kind of did that. I had, strangers in my woods looking for them. I think a lot of that is what tied up to the fact that they were upset. And I had about 2 weeks of no activity here when that happened. So I have not, besides me filming, I have not had another film crew out here since then. And you can see it in that documentary. If you look up Byways of Bigfoot, with Linda Eastburn, you'll see me react to it. And I do. I react because we were leaving the woods and I just got that instant feeling is, well, who are these people? Why are they here? And what are you doing? That's the exact feeling I got when we was leaving the woods. And I knew it. I knew right there that I upsetted them. So that can happen. If you got groups in there that are used to you and has accepted you, however the way they do accept, I mean, I'm sure there's different levels of acceptance. You can't upset them, so you have to be careful about that. And it's like I always say, you got to go out with respect. You got to go out with positivity and respect. So you have to keep that in mind. And I mean, since then, the activity's picked back up. I still have a lot of stuff going on. Several episodes back, I had Brother William Nighthawk on with me. We went over all the audio stuff I caught with the howls and the roars, and them speaking Lakota and them speaking Cherokee, them doing some kind of little chitter-like talk, walking around on my porch, climbing up my ladder, walking up on the roof of my porch. They sounded like juveniles that were playing around the porch. You kind of hear in the background where it sounds like an older one's kind of giving them boundaries, rules. Hey, don't do this or do this. Now that's been since that documentary. So they don't mess with me, which is good. Now, do I get feelings sometimes when I'm in the woods saying, hey, you don't need to be in here? Yes. Unless I absolutely got to be in them woods, I don't go in them woods when I get that feeling. Now, I do carry and pack when I'm in that woods if I have to, when I get that feeling. But they don't mess with me. Hey, Lynn, they don't mess with me because they know that I'm just going to go in, get my stuff done, and get out. Hey, Corey. No, we got plenty of that going on up here. Hey, David. I have access to the Patterson video, Roger Grimm. Hey, yeah, bro. Hey, David. Oh, yeah, I'd like to see that, bro. I'd like to see that. So, I mean, we got to keep this stuff in mind when we're out there. Now, do we know everything about these things? Absolutely not. We don't. I can just tell you what I've done in research and husbands, David. I can just tell you from the research I've done from the Native American people, from ancient tribes that talked about, or ancient people that talked about these, and I can only tell you what I personally experienced myself. David in the chat, he's a good brother of mine. I've known him since I was 16. He's been out here and seen some interesting stuff. So, I mean, that stuff happens. Now, as far as true wisdom comes from knowing what we know nothing. Yeah. It's absolutely true. So, sorry, I keep looking over to see if he's coming back yet. So, we got to take that in context. Now, just because some of them may act differently or act one way here does not mean that they're going to act the same in another place. Good, because I don't know. They could act totally different. Like down here, they're not near as aggressive as they are up in the northern states, like Alaska, places like that where food is scarce. They seem to be a lot more aggressive. Fred Roll talks about that in his experience. His experience was not a good experience, and you can see the fear in his eyes when he talks about that all the time. And he was on that. He was on Finding Bigfoot, I think it was, because of his experience and what he had encountered with his cousin and his grandpa up there in Alaska. They even had him on, I believe it was Finding Bigfoot. It might be an Expedition Bigfoot. I can't remember which one it was. If one of you guys remember, put it in the chat. I know it was one of them two. It was either Finding Bigfoot or Expedition Bigfoot. Fred Roll's on there because of his encounter. Even though they weren't Gugwe, they weren't Genoskwa, they weren't that style. They were extremely aggressive, and I seriously think it's because of the lack of food in that area. You have to be more aggressive if you want to maintain that food source. So if you're constantly battling something, and it's a difference between you winning a fight and being more aggressive and eating, or losing a fight and not being aggressive and not eating, you're going to be aggressive. Humans are the same way. You get a bunch of humans in the area with the low food content, see how we act. There's no difference. Fred's story had me on the edge of my seat when he talked about it. Absolutely. I mean, it did me too, Roxanne. Me too. Yeah, absolutely. So, keep that in mind. Just because the ones around here are nice doesn't mean they're going to be that way in Pennsylvania or Florida or Louisiana or Wisconsin. It doesn't mean that they're going to be the same in that area. And I think that's a common mistake that researchers, investigators, or just enthusiasts, period, get mixed up. They think, oh, it's the Patty Gimberlins and the Bigfoot. So, they're going nice and they're not going to mess with us. That's not always the case. So you have to keep that in mind, especially if you're not familiar with that area and you're out there investigating. Yeah, absolutely, Corey. You're absolutely right. They have attitudes. They have temperaments just like we do. They have good days. They have bad days. You got nice ones. You got mean ones. You got one that thinks. Thank you, Mark, for subscribing. I appreciate you, buddy. As soon as that pops up over here, I will pop that up on the screen. For some reason, my little chat thing is not keeping up with what's going on, so I'll pop that up here in a second. There we go. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Mark Ains. You're awesome, and it's much loved. I really do appreciate you subscribing. Thank you. So, this is something that we often forget. And so keep that in mind, folks. I mean, I'm sure you guys have experienced them in other areas. Your experiences are different than mine. I've been fortunate. The most aggressive I've ran into was Australia when I learned about a yowie. And I was at Shellwater Bay training area in Australia back in 2001. And there's this old house out there. They call it a colonial house. There's this old colonial house out there in the middle of the training field. And the Aussies were like, "Hey, mate, the people used to live here, they were asking about the Aborigines." I was like, "Oh, cool, man. This is going to be paranormal." I was like, "Dude, I got to check this out." I was like, "Can we go in there? Will we get trouble?" "Oh, no, mate, go in there." So I go in there, and I went to put a step on that first step. And when before my foot even touched that step, all I heard was a, I went, "Whoa, that is not paranormal." And I backed up, and they went, "Oh, bloody hell, mate, get down there. That's a yowie." I was like, "What the hell's a yowie?" "Oh, it's a Bigfoot. What you call Bigfoot?" And I was like, "Okay." So that was my first experience, first time ever encountering a yowie situation. Now, I never physically seen it. I just heard it growling at me. And the bush people in Australia know about these things very, very well. So when they said stay away, I stayed away. Hey, Bobby. The yowie migrated across the tentacle of the octopus from the India region. That could be. Yeah, that could be. I can't tell you for sure. I don't know that for fact, but that's a good possibility. Absolutely. If you wouldn't mind, moderators, keep putting in the chat from time to time, let everybody know that, RPG is here. It's just he's taking care of his kids at the moment. So that way people don't get worried about it. The Mayu in New Zealand. Oh yeah, the Moe. How do you say the Moeu? I'm trying to remember. I think I'm pretty close on that. The Moeu. Yeah, I've heard about that. They're not the aggressive kind, if I remember right, Revered. Here's the Kraken. Yeah, I figured that's probably what you was talking about. Yeah. I mean, we had a land bridge here. There's plenty of scientific studies shows you that, there was actually a land of ice. Now, a lot of things migrate across that land of ice. So, yeah, I was just thinking about something. Is it known if Bigfoot be around coal or places with lots of minerals? Because I just lost it there. Give me a second, Monisha. I'm sorry. Because when I saw the one when I was little, we would have found, so the native people talk about how they burn fire. They use fire. So if they notice like humans using coal for that stuff, it's not out of the possibility that they would too. Moe. Oh, Moe, that's right. Moe Egu. Thank you. Moe Egu. Egu. Okay. It's not out of the possibility of them doing that. So yeah, I mean that's definitely possible. Can I tell you for 100% sure? No, I cannot. I absolutely cannot. But I know like animals like to lick rocks because the mineral contents coming out of there. It's because your body needs certain types of minerals. Deer and other animals lick these rocks. Even like around here, they're known to lick the rocks around here because the minerals that's seeping out of them rocks. I believe that Bigfoot does the same thing. Patty has all the original crap in boxes sealed. Cool. Oh, Patty. Oh, never mind. I know who you're talking about now. Sorry, bro. Yeah. That's cool, man. There's also lithium. Lithium. Yeah. Some pregnant women have been known to eat bricks just to get the mineral. Yeah, I've heard that stories back in the old days. Hey, Larry. So I mean, all this stuff is definitely there. So we gotta keep this stuff in mind. Lithium is easy fire when you just add water. Yeah. So I mean, they're going to do that stuff, because Even I believe it's the Lakota. I think it was the Lakota. But many tribes went to rendezvous. It wasn't just the Lakota. I mean, rendezvous. A lot of tribes came together, even if they didn't like each other. They came together from time to time for rendezvous. So, I mean, Bigfoot. They talk about how Tonka used to come to rendezvous until one of the wrestling matches between the people and Tonka went the wrong way, and sadly, it was not done purposely. It was an accident, but one of the Braves was accidentally unalived by Tonka, a young Tonka, and since then they stopped going to rendezvous. So I mean, this is the type of stuff you got to look up. I mean, the native people talk about this stuff. You got to get out and do the research. It's like I always tell people: don't never take what I say for granted. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Do your own research, build your own opinion, your own hypothesis, or build upon mine. I donated several pink salt livestock licks to Mike, and he's getting action. Squatch in Florida is his channel. He researches with RPG. Oh, cool, Lynn. Yeah. RPG will be back. He's taking care of his kids real quick. He was on for here at the beginning, but he's got, he's a daddy of 4. So he's got to get the young ones taken care of real quick, but he will be back. So, I mean, there's plenty of stories throughout history too of even the people warring with them, and they traded with them, they learned from them, and they taught them. Saying there's stories about them, men and women both being taken for mating purposes. Is that the other reason why we have this humanistic looking style of Bigfoot? That is a possibility. And there may be both. It may be the last remnants of Neanderthal and the hybrids. That is absolutely possible. It was a culture bias and racism from the last settlers that erased the true history. A few generations telling people it's make-believe, and they'll start believing it. Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah, that does. That happens a lot. Himalayan salt, you was talking about that there, the pink salt, that's Himalayan salt. There's a lot of mineral and a lot of healthy stuff in that salt. So using that stuff, I can see that as being a good catalyst, because that'd be something that they would want. So, I mean, look at your goats. Your goats are a prime example. Your mountain goats, the things that look like they can pretty much stand on a sheer straight-faced wall. That's what they're up. They're up to licking them minerals. That's why we still treat it like a myth. If we paid attention to the old ways, we would know was real. And I agree with you. We talk about that stuff all the time. But there's also a lot of stuff too that people talk about nowadays that they just make up. They take bits and parts of history and come up with their own thing. So you have to be extremely careful with that too. You have to be very, very careful with that. So, we have to keep all that in mind. And that's why I always tell you, be careful what you're listening to. Hey, Michigan, how's it going? The Sabe? Yeah, Sabe is a new term. I'm not real big on the Sabe thing, but I mean, a lot of people are. Hey, more power to you, man. To me, the Sabe term is a new term. But yeah, I mean, they talk about, some of them do. They talk about the Sabe. Yeah, that's what I mean. They're making up their own. Yeah, they do. They do. Hey, Auntie. For those of you just coming in, RPG's taking care of his kids. He'll be back. Very well Native American term. It could be. It's a new one on me. I've just not done enough research on it. It's a real new term to me. And I've only started just hearing about that about 2 years ago. I've always known them as Tonka, Sasquatch, other stuff. Sabe was the new ones. That's why I don't know much about that term. So a lot of people call them that. Hey, they got many names, man. They're known by different names across the world. So, it's possible, definitely possible. That's just, like I said, that's just a new one on me. Yeah, there is. Oh man. Yeah, you seen if you missed that list that William had on the show this morning, yeah, it is. And we were kind of talking about that a little bit earlier because they had the big W on there as a Bigfoot, and that's not a Bigfoot. It is the furthest thing from a Bigfoot. It is not flesh and blood. Its host is flesh and blood, but itself is not. It's supernatural. It's a spirit. It's an evil possessing spirit. You heard about the Yowie in Australia, but did you ever research the Boonip? Nope, I did not. I've heard of it once, but no. Yeah, dude. Yeah, big time, Michigan. It does me too. Big time. Big time. So the story was sent out to Steve is to Steve is Doll's YouTube channel, where a person said they were having conversations. So the story was sent into Steve is Doll's YouTube channel, where a person said they were having conversations with one of the forest people, and that the forest person told the human they prefer it. Yeah, I know. It's just I just started hearing about that 2 years ago. Hey, David. So it's a really, to me, it's a really new term, and that's why I'm not been jumping on that. I'm not a big new term person, because if it was something that was said, it'd be throughout history. I've not found it throughout history yet. Oh, Isda Dave Isda? Okay. Yeah, I'm big in looking up stuff, researching the history and trying to find how far back it goes. And it's just been a couple years. It may be longer than 2. I mean, I've get my years mixed up. It could be 4, but I know it's really new. Hey, Arlen. Hey, Don. So. Yeah. I mean, knowledge is power, man. It's like the old G.I. Joe commercial from the 80s. You remember, knowing is half the battle? Remember how they used to talk about that after every cartoon, knowing is half the battle? We need that same attitude here in the cryptid, paranormal, and supernatural world. We need that same attitude. You have to do your research. So, thank you, Roxanne. Yeah, I love G.I. Joe. I love G.I. Joe. I got some of them on DVD. I still love G.I. Joe and Transformers. Back when the cartoons had a message that they try to teach people. So, has anybody got any more questions as we're still waiting? Yep. They did. They absolutely did. Is it how to hunt? A guy used to listen to every story could get every day. Yep. I don't know if I know that one. How to hunt. How to hunt guy. I don't know if I know that one. I'm trying to think. It sounds familiar, but it's very foggy. So not. Oh, I may know him. There was a royal party where people dressed as wild men and unfortunately got too close to a fire and set them. I've heard about that, Lynn. I have heard about that. Yeah. Getting by. How about you? He is taking care of the kids for a moment. He was on just a little bit ago during the beginning of the show, and he has to take care of his kids. He should be back. I'm just trying to stay sane like everybody else. Yeah. I mean, I listen to what people say, and I do research on it because I'm just not going to believe what somebody tells me. I'm going to do my own research, and that's what I always try to tell everybody else to do too. I don't preach something and not practice myself. I practice what I preach. All he does is read people's emails telling their Sasquatch and Dogman stories. You talking about Cameron Buckner? Oh, never mind that. Huh? Okay, yeah, never mind. I mean, some people do that. Yeah, some people are that way. He is a hunting guide in Canada. Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't know if I've read him or heard of him. I don't. I may not have. I mean, it kind of sounds. I may have heard somebody talk about him. And that's where it kind of sounds familiar. Is a deal. And then again, something may pop up, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know where it is now." That happens a lot with me. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Is it? Okay. I may have to try to remember to look that up. I got stuff here to look up. I got reached out. I kind of felt bad because my text messages didn't go through, but that's all right. We got it taken care of last night. I still got to look up Todd's standings. I haven't had a chance to do that today. Huron National Forest. Oh yeah, the Huron. That's a powerful people right there. The Hurons. That's a powerful people right there. Yep. Okay, yep. I'm caught up on the comments. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody's comments in case there's a question. In county for a few years, did you? Oh yeah. And I'll talk of portals and dimensionalized on. I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't witnessed. I'll tell you now, not every single one of them can use portals. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are on that. They don't. Not every single one of them can use portals. Even native people will tell you that. Their medicine men and women can, but not every single one of them. If that was the case, they'd be portaling in and out of our homes all the time when they're trying to break in, and they don't do it. Shapeshifter, there is shapeshifters out there. That's not Bigfoot that's doing it. It's something else. I mean, that's dealing with magic or supernatural. But yeah, there is shapeshifters out there. You need to get Starlink, Corey. I'll send you the link to Starlink, Corey. Remind me. I'll send you the link. And I mean, for me, it was only $27 to start out, and then it was $120 to get the server started. They turn you into anything they want. Yeah, that's not Bigfoot though. Bigfoot's not going to. That's not Bigfoot. Bigfoot ain't shapeshifters. That's something else. That's magic or that's supernatural. That's not Bigfoot. No, that's not. That's if you got Bigfoot shapeshifting, you've got something very, very evil in that area. That is straight up supernatural and evil stuff right there, or supernatural magic stuff. Yeah, Bigfoot's not shapeshifting. That's something completely different. And if that you've got a lot of that going on, that's not good. That's not good at all. That's bad. Eric, my shape has shifted quite a bit throughout. Mine has too, Arlen. Don't worry. I stopped growing tall and I started growing wide. Yeah. And it's still not good. I mean, that's not good either. Had a buddy with Starlink and a cloudy day. It's nothing but problems. That's what I'm using right now. I'm using Starlink right now. It's snowing. It's been storming and snowing, and I'm using it. Now, my Viasat that I had before, yeah, my Viasat, you guys seen how it was. Even on a clear day, I had issues with it, but it was real bad on the cloudy day. I'm using Starlink right now, and it's working great. Oh, okay. Yeah, Revere. But it was a case that I worked on when I was working at Penn State University and made an appearance on the paranormal state. Yeah. Yeah, man, if that's the thing is, and a lot of people tell you that though. Honestly, that's why I took it the same way. Oh, thank you, Manisha. Corey made that out of silver. Corey Cole is in the chat. He made that out of silver. There's an episode called The Ranch. Huh. Yeah, man. Shape shifting is throughout every single culture. When it comes to human, it's dark magic. It's magic. It's dark. It's evil. The stuff you got to do to shape shift, it's not good. But if you notice it, it's the same across the board, no matter where you're hearing about it on the techniques. Oh, Corey. Yeah. Yeah. So that's another thing, like I've talked about it several times. When I go to a place to do an investigation, I always do an initial investigation. I want to get to know the energy of the area that I'm investigating to give me an idea of what I'm running into. And that's not always 100% accurate. I have had situations where I thought something was just a paranormal deal, and I get in there and it turned south. It turned south in a bad way. And then I've had situations where I've went on, hunts for cryptids or shapeshifters, and end up running into something completely different that's worse than them. So you have to. That stuff it's important to know that stuff. Okay, no, sorry, I thought I seen something moving in the background back here on his deal. The energy can definitely shift on a dime. Yeah, energy can always shift on a dime. But that's, like I've said before, like that paranormal investigation I was doing. When I done the initial investigation, during the first part of the investigation, it seemed like a normal paranormal hunt, and it went south. There was an evil spirit there. It was hiding. Okay, good. Sorry, he just messaged me. He's still trying to get the kids taken care of. He'll be back as soon as possible. So I told him no worries. No worries at all. I could seem quiet and calm, and out of nowhere something crazy happens. It does. It absolutely does. All right, Roxanne. Thank you. Let me put this in here for everybody who's just came in. I know all about the daddy life. Make sure I didn't miss a comment here. Hey, Poncho. I ain't starting over. You have to watch from the beginning. Trying to keep it in the chat so people know that, our special guest is just taking care of his kids real quick. We got a reset going. You're lucky this is recorded. Hey, Robin. So, this is the stuff we got, there's a big misconception about the Chinese Bigfoot called the urine. You're going to hear a lot of people talk about the urine is mean and evil. They're just like the Patty Gimlin one. They're not evil. They're not. So we have to be careful on that stuff too, because people will talk a lot of trash on something that they don't know. The church that was on the earth view we did the other day, to the right of the cemetery back in the woods is a cave. That is where we heard footsteps drop on the floor of we walked in. Oh, no kidding. Oh, wow. So did you actually, it was just all sound. You didn't have any other physical evidence or anything like that, Arlen? Investigation that led us to an insane asylum and told them to be respectful when we were in there, and they began provoking. I have never provoked. No, I do not provoke. And somebody got slammed up against the wall. That sounds something supernatural to me. The guy started turning blue and hand marks appeared around his throat as his feet lifted. Yeah, dude, that's something supernatural. That's not paranormal. That's supernatural. The guy started turning. Oh, yeah, that is definitely something supernatural. And that's the thing about when you go to insane asylums and prisons that you have to worry about. You're going to have. It's not just going to be paranormal activity there. It's going to be supernatural activity there too. There's a lot of evil there. And off the premise, yeah, you don't provoke. We were all 11 or 12 years of age. It sounded big. Oh, wow. Yeah, I get that, man. And you don't know. I mean, that could have been paranormal. It could have been supernatural. It could have been a cryptid that you ran into, Arlen. Yep. You know what an insane asylum is. Come on, Corey. Come on, man. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Angels don't fear to tread nowhere. Oh, which one? Oh, okay. Yeah. Waverly Hills before they converted it. Yeah. Problem is, even with converting it, there's still going to be a trace of that stuff there, if not full stuff still going on. I'd like to go to Waverly. I would. Yeah, I definitely would. Oh. You know, man, prisons, hospitals, and insane asylums, when it comes to paranormal, my God, activity in them places is off the charts. Church to my cousins are 4 caves to the back of the property where I was born in a cave. That is where I heard the sound of whatever. Oh, wow. Born as a cave. Yeah. Does me too. Yeah, I love caves. I love caving. I love going into caves. I love checking caves out. There's a lot of interesting stuff in caves, but you got to be careful. There's a lot of dangers in caves too, not just cryptid or supernatural. I mean, there's caves themselves are dangerous, but I love caving. I absolutely love caving. Yes, all of the right words, and it gives you a completely yep. That's why I don't do that talk to text thing either, because it don't speak hillbilly. You know, because I do. Man, I'll be there in a heartbeat. I love that stuff. God, I've been in caves all over this world. I love caves. There's a lot of stuff you can find in caves. Caves has got a lot of history. A lot of dangers, but there's a lot of history too. I don't recommend going to caves if you don't like them or you're not familiar with them. Man, yeah, I love going into caves. Yeah, same as me, Roxanne. I mean, ever since I was knee high to a grasshopper's ass, and my first time ever going into a cave, I was hooked. I mean, I was hooked on phonics, man. Too hard to defend yourself. In some aspects, yes, but it really depends. You just got to know your terrain. To the left of the church, where a long line of bluffs were, Indians lived. We found many arrowheads there. Yeah, they took shelter in caves. Like if they get caught in a bad storm, or they're long distance traveling, caves are a great place to take shelter in. So that's not uncommon at all. Some buried their dead in caves. Caves have a lot of significant meaning. They're extremely important. Had my share of ghost and supernatural. Yeah, I don't know if I can ever. I don't know if I ever can, Don. I love that stuff too much. I'll say this: I don't do unfamiliar caves. Yeah, I mean, I will. I will. I'm just very. I'm extremely cautious on an unfamiliar one. I mean, I'm cautious even on ones I know because things change. But an unfamiliar one, I'm extremely cautious on. Carlsbad Caverns was awesome. Hell yeah, I don't know. That's not the one by Oklahoma City, is it? Hey, Jeff, how's it going, buddy? Oops. Make sure I keep that in the chat. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Long, thin fingers and raspy laugh, and they could seemingly pass through walls. Ooh. A Draugr can do that. Oh, shit, I'm sorry, Roxanne. I didn't see you put that in there. I had a bunch of stuff pop up one time right when I was typing. The one that I've witnessed, the creature in the childhood that never told anybody about because I didn't think that strange sleek blue skin with white hair on the spot. Man, that sounds like a Draugr. Trying to eat meatballs and drive the farm truck at the same. Oh, I am not going to go there, Jeff. I am not going there, buddy. Oh God, I'm trying to fight it. I'm so trying to fight it. Oh God, buddy. Oh God. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Give us a minute, folks. So that's a legit thing. It's not just a game character. Yeah. No, Draugr is an actual entity. And Draugr is your Nordic version of a zombie and even classified as a vampire. Now, Draugr is someone that returns from the dead. He was either wronged in life or he was evil in life. He returns back and he invades people's dreams. They can grow in height, they can grow in strength, and they can even go through walk wall. So no, Draugr are very, very, very real. Jeff, let's get there. Jeff, man, no, I can't do it. I'm going to be nice, Jeff. I can't do it. Talking about his eating his meatballs and driving his farm truck. I'm trying to be good and not pick on Jeff. RBG, good to have you back, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And to everyone listening, apologize about that. But, parenthood is a crazy hood, and sometimes things come up. That's all I'll say.
I know how that was. I was a single parent for a long time, so I know exactly how that is. No
You
worries.
are a superhero then, my friend. And doing
Nah,
that on
man.
your own, I couldn't even imagine.
Nah, man, I'm just being daddy, doing what daddies do.
How old are they now?
20 and 19. Fixing to be 20 and 19. Yeah, one's in college and the other one's getting ready to go into the Navy.
Congratulations, sir. That's really cool.
Yeah. Before you had to go take care of your kids, we was kind of trying to get people familiar with you that may not know you.
Sure.
You've had an amazing career, amazing life. You got to experience things that people like me would dream to get a chance to.
Aww.
So it's to be able to get your input on that type of stuff. I love hearing that stuff. I love hearing them stories, just like my good friend Jesus Payon Jr. My actor from Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and stuff like that. He played Gonzo. He was in Two Guns, Albuquerque, and he's been in a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. I love hearing that experience because you guys get to see things that we theorize on, but you also get to have experiences that we don't get to. So this type of stuff kind of led you into a lot of what you do. And I've seen you on some amazing shows. So if you wouldn't mind, just kind of give us a little, you don't have to go in detail if you don't want to, just kind of a little touch basis with anybody who's not familiar with your work.
Yeah. I mean, I've been into it for a long time. Military brat, moved around all over the place, picked on, tried to be cool. So started going into haunted buildings and looking for Bigfoot, and spent a lot of time alone, like a lot of us do that are a little weirder than the other kids. And that just led me, there you go. Oh yeah. You know,
my kids are.
Yeah. We're third culture kids. If you ever want to understand people like us, it's a real thing. We build friendships very fast, but we can also just ghost because we were never able to fully dig roots, or just when you start to dig them and feel comfortable. Bye. And this is before FaceTime and all that. This is when you wrote letters. You typed a letter to send to people. So yeah, I spent a lot of time alone and investigating things like that. And then I also grew up in New England. Every house is haunted. My grandmother's house supposedly super haunted. So you would go over there to stay at your grandma's because everyone wants to stay at grandma's, but then they would all talk about how they would never sleep in the twin bedroom upstairs. That's where the Captain Butler comes in and looks at you while you're sleeping, smiles, and walks away. I don't want to see that. Okay, time for bed, Ryan. And guess what bedroom you're sleeping in? The twin bedroom. And you'd be like, and then of course I wasn't supposed to, but I snuck and watched Poltergeist. So I'm already scared, pretending I'm not. And now there's one piece of furniture in there, which is a creepy old rocking chair, and a doll with insanely long arms. And I'm just like, oh God, oh God. So on one side of it, fearful as all hell. But on the other side, what you don't recognize when you're a kid and you lean into it as opposed to run from it, you start to get addicted to the rush. And you don't know. I mean, for ghost hunting, Bigfooting, UFO, things in the water, if you really go on these investigations, you either are or aren't aware of the fact that there comes with this adrenaline rush, which is addictive. It's like a drug. So I started going into haunted buildings to show off and to make friends. But then eventually I was like, can I even do it? Everyone else is scared. Well, can I do it? And then I would do it and come running out, and I'd feel like, what makes you feel alive in life, right? Like, especially I'm speaking to everyone listening now that are older. Like, when's the last time you laughed so hard your side hurt? When's the last time you had such a rush that you didn't think about anything in the past you messed up on, and you're not worried about anything in the future? You're just fully present, like you were when you were a kid, and you didn't worry about shit. That's what these things do for you. Sorry.
It's the best high you can have without taking anything substance. I mean, there's no euphoric high like going out and having that adrenaline high. There's just not.
100%. And then if that becomes something you're addicted to, which I would consider it a healthy addiction, as long as you're not doing things truly crazy, then for some of us, it'll lead you in a direction. Like I wanted my own show on TV with my brother. We started something called Monster Brothers. So if you go on YouTube and look up Monster Brothers, Josh Golembeske, episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, watch those. We put that out in 2008 because we recognized that reality TV was becoming a thing. We were doing these adventures with family anyway, so it was like, maybe we put it on film. I mean, all that Jackass stuff you saw, let me tell you about my generation. We were all doing that. They just put it on film. And granted, they were doing it more hardcore than us. We did hardcore, but not like that. But we were doing these hunts, so we decided to put it on, and we pitched it all over Hollywood, dude. Everyone loved us. We would show up into pitch meetings with a 6 or a natty, and we would crack them open with everyone, and we would watch it. They loved us. But the problem was, they were like, but you're nobodies. Who the heck are you? This was before reality TV knew that it could turn people into stars or money-making people. And so they were like, we love it, but we don't know what to do with you. So it went nowhere, fortunately. But because we did that, we did pickups for Spike TV. They were like, okay, it was an almost there. And we went and did a pickup, and we were like, okay, we need people like us. We want to show what like real Bigfooting is like, and these ghost hunts. Because I feel like people in our profession are so, not everyone, but they're so desperate to be taken serious, the subject to be taken serious, that they're serious investigators. So let me just be the guy that says it. Like, when we go do these things, you can be fully serious and still have a few beers. I'm sorry, you can go out and have fun. And some would argue, including the great James Bobo Fay, that if you go out in the woods and have the best time ever around the campfire, you're more inclined to draw them to you than if you just sit out there in silence staring at the woods trying to see them, right? Because it's all about minimalizing threat for them. They need to get close. And if you are obviously completely distracted by dancing and playing music and having fun, and coupled with that is the fact that mirth or joy, once again, going back to when you were a kid and you just felt free, you didn't have any responsibility, you didn't feel that pressure. Hey, I'm on a podcast, please leave me alone. Go away from the door. I got 4 kids. I usually do it at the office, but today has been, I won't even put that stress on you people, but it's been a heck of a day. So anyway, yeah, that rush is addicting, and I pursued it forever. Our show didn't go. We had James Boba Fett come on for the pickups. We went and shot at Mount Pinos, which is a migrational route, we believe, for the Bigfoot in California. And we proceeded to, I will be honest, we partied harder than we'd ever partied before, but we also got everything done we wanted. We filmed and shot everything. And once again, I'm not condoning this. I'm not saying go party your ass off and do this and stuff like that. I'm just saying, I think it's time for the world to get real again. There's so many people pretending. So many people aren't authentic. I'm not saying every investigation. I mean, I'm older now. I don't even go crazy anymore in the woods anymore. But I did, and I still got it done. We really got it done, and we became best buds. And here's another thing: you want to become really good friends with someone, you break bread with them or party hard with them, and then you're connected forever, as long as you survive it, right? Well, we survived, and he had James Boba Fett, who like, okay, I could just sit here and tell you his stories for hours, and it would be the greatest stories you've ever heard. He needs to write a book. So anyone that knows him, keep pressuring him to write a book with me. His tales are the tales of Paul Bunyan. They're amazing. But he had never partied like that, and yet still worked and got it done until he met the Monster Brothers. So it was awesome, right? So then, obviously, Finding Bigfoot goes. And when Finding Bigfoot goes, after the first season, I believe it was, he calls me and says, hey, RPG, this show is a grind. We're all going to kill each other. We need your positivity on the show. Come work on it. And listen, I had sold a show to MTV called Exile, where we took American teenagers around the world to live with indigenous peoples. That show was amazing. We basically proved that there's no such thing as bad children. There was just bad parenting, be it your own parents struggling to do the best they can, which you got to forgive someday because they did the best they could, and also the United States as a parent. And if you remove kids from that and you try to reset them, everybody is just waiting to know where they belong and to be seen for who they are and to know that they are now taking the next steps. It's called a rite of passage, and we don't have it in culture anymore, which is part of why everything's screwed up. But anyway, I sold that show, best show ever, and then it, did a season and a half, and then that was done. So I'm coming off of this high of a guy who's self-taught, passionate, and I'll build a rocket if you give me enough time and give me the resources and AI, I'll build the heck out of it. But so then after that, he came. So I interviewed on that show, and this is a good story for people too, because life is going to punch you so hard in the nuts that like you most of the time you're not gonna want to get up because it's too hard. Well, imagine being at the top of your profession and young, so you're a hotshot. You're like, this is what I'm meant to do. I finally get it, because I was supposed to be a professional soccer player. That didn't work out. Hurt myself. I found another one within 6 years. Oh my, this is what I'm supposed to be. Go out to Hollywood. They hate me. I didn't earn it. What, you didn't go to a film school? No, I didn't know you need to. So after trying out to be supervising producer on the show, which I could have done effortlessly, they said the only position we have for you is PA, which is production assistant, which is the guy who goes to get you coffee and walks your dog and cleans up its shit. That is what they offer me after coming from show creator, director, working with the UN on international, just living this dream life. And I was at this moment, but it was Bigfoot and it was travel. And you're going to pay me to travel and basically get a PhD in Bigfooting. But it's humiliating, right? Because I'm here. You don't go backwards. Well, guess what? Sometimes in life you have to go backwards. And I went backwards. I swallowed the epicness of my pride, which, when we're young, all of us have different degrees of pride, and hopefully we shed that as we go so we can be luminaries to the next generation. But I was still young, and I had to. And I'm so grateful that I did, because working on Finding Bigfoot was one of the greatest experiences ever. I wish it for everyone that loves this subject, that they get on a show where they're forced, even when the days where you're tired or you're hungover, you don't want to do it, to get up and go do it. Yeah. And yeah, that was amazing. And then from there, it just spiraled. I got cast on Expedition Bigfoot. Only time in my life I ever got sick, fell out of that. And I'm battling my way back. I'm battling my way back. I want it. I want this. Just like all of you listening who you love it, figure out what level of this you want. And then write that down. Say, I want to eventually have a podcast. I want to be on TV. I just want to do a documentary film. I don't care what it is. Write it down and then build the mother effing road to it, because that's the part that nobody tells you about. You got to start building brick by brick. You got to build your way there, and you will get there if you truly love this. And if you don't, it's okay. It's okay. We all get sidebarred. Anyway, sorry, I rambled a lot there.
No. We do have one question for you from my good friend Corey Cole. Let me get back up to it real quick. And then I want to piggyback as I get this ready. I want to piggyback on something you said.
Yeah.
I'm a content creator. I'm an investigator. I'm a researcher. I'm an author. I do a lot of stuff.
Awesome.
For years and years and years, I've done investigations all over this world.
Yeah.
I've only recently started filming my investigations, which I'm a one-man show. I film it, I investigate, film it, edit it, produce it, everything by myself.
Amazing.
So yeah, I'm always growing, and that's something you got to do. You got to grow. You got to learn how to get better. I've been writing my own songs, like my intro and outro. That's actually videos and investigations that I've been on. That's me actually out there doing investigations. That's my intro and outro.
Awesome.
I've caught. I investigate paranormal, supernatural, cryptids. I love this. You're right. It's that euphoric, adrenaline high that but I love everything. Like this last one I did for my neighbor. I have a 81-year-old neighbor, and he's never had a paranormal experience in his life. He calls me up. He goes, "Hey, Eric, man, I got some weird stuff going on. Can you come up and help me?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I got you." We set up an appointment. I went over there, and I was setting my equipment up. I turned my digital 360 recorder on, set it on a table, and as I'm setting my stuff up, you get a little boy goes, "What are you doing?" And you hear me putting my equipment together. I mean, not even 5 minutes into the investigation.
But that's when it mostly happens for everyone listening.
Dude,
you turn everything on before you even get there, because it's when you walk in, they all go, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah,
and then nothing. You're like, "Wait, what?"
And I'm working on a werewolf investigation right now. It's one of the very few times I've been ran out of the woods. And I wasn't ran out of the woods by a werewolf. I was ran out of the woods by something older, evil, and powerful. It was one of the very few times. And I've got that on my YouTube channel too, because I was one of the few times I was trying to go live while doing my initial investigation. So I always go into an area that I'm doing an investigation. I do what I call an initial investigation. I go in there, I feel the energies of that area.
Yep.
What am I dealing with? This is what I want to do before I go in. Bring anybody else in with me. Before I get, deep into that investigation, I want to try to get a handle on what I'm dealing with. So I always do an initial investigation, and that's what I was down there doing. I was down there doing where the very first werewolf sighting was, and this was 2 sightings, same creature, 50 years apart, within 4 miles of each other. And
fascinating.
Yeah. And I mean, the very moment I started to get out of my truck, I had this strong feeling. Hey, you need to come over here. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go over there. And this is what I dealt with. And I mean, I wasn't on this investigation very long when I started packing my shit up and throwing it in the truck because I was like, dude, something's coming after me. And you get that feeling something is coming after me because it was getting stronger. It was getting more powerful. It was getting more angry because I was ignoring it. And I was like, okay, no, I'm by myself in an area that I've never been. I'm an old Marine grunt NCO. I mean, Marine Special Forces. I mean, and I'm going, here's your sign. Exit stage left.
Well, you got to trust your gut, man. You're lucky you trusted your gut because a lot of people just tune it out.
Oh, yeah. Corey wants to know, Ryan, have you ever done any investigations in Oklahoma?
Oklahoma. We were there for Finding Bigfoot, and I believe we were at a horse barn or horse ranch. That was many years ago, and if I remember correctly, Oklahoma was where we investigated a casino because this particular casino was just south of the confluence of two major rivers, which is a good sign because obviously maybe not obviously to everyone, but these things use the water to move when they're not going underground or they don't have dense woods or high mountains to move through. And so the answer is yes, by the way, before I ramble. And then what happened was there was a grease trap in the back of the casino and something kept opening it. And it was like, I forget what it was. It was like 6 foot off and then 8 foot at the top. I don't know. It was very tall for some reason. And they said, someone's in it, put a videotape up, find out who it is, and kick their butt, basically. But they put a videotape up, put a camera up that was however high off the ground. I forget what it was. I think I remember him saying it was like 8 to 10 feet off the ground. But a Bigfoot ducks to go underneath the camera to walk over to the pit, opens it up and uses a stick, just like great apes, to eat the grease. Well, the owner of the casino sees it and goes, burn the tape. Get rid of that. We don't want anything to do with that. And if you know anything about Native Americans and the wisdom, they don't know if it's spirit or if it's Satonga or Bigfoot. And so they just try to be respectful. Well, they put it on the web. Apparently, it was on the web for one night. And that next night, everything within a mile of that casino, the bison, horses, dog, anything with eye shine in the field got shot. Which is why they wanted him to get rid of it. Because humans, we shoot first, we ask questions later. It's unfortunate, but that's kind of how it is, especially when you throw liquid courage into there. So they got rid of the tape. They burnt it. Just like Jacques Cousteau and a few of his missions where they put a big carcass down in the water, they shot the tape and said, the world's not ready, get rid of the tape. So I think there's a lot of instances where people say that. But yeah, they got rid of the tape. So they have Bigfoot activity there. Don't let anyone tell you not. My greatest encounter, like my greatest experiences, a lot of them happened in Nebraska. Not a stone's throw, but a crow's fly from that area. So it is wildly active. And I always tell people too, like, stand back. Do you remember watching Star Trek? I'll never forget the day where they were doing chess, but it was multi-level. So you had to look at chess
40.
different.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm not anything, but that blew me away. That made me think different. And I gift that to all of you. So when you look at the environment, don't just go, well, there's no woods here. Okay, there's a couple of rivers, but that's not it. Step back. Okay. First of all, don't be a speciesist. These things are physical perfection, I guess, as close as one can. They are. We venerate all like Thor and Superman and movies and stuff. Well, they're the real version.
Oh yeah.
They can do anything. They could probably do 200 miles in a night, no problem. Maybe 400 as long as they're moving. They also go underground. You got to look underground. The middle of our country, there is essentially a sea of fresh water. Like Nebraska itself is floating. People would tell you whatever they want, but that whole place is floating, which goes into parts of Oklahoma. And part of it, to back this up, watch Missing 411, David Paulides, and you'll see clusters of all these disappearances. If you were to actually get the LiDAR of under the ground, they are almost always on the edges of the underground aquifers. What does that mean? I don't know. You figure it out, right? But I'm telling you, they're not just moving on the river on top. They're moving in the river underground as well. They're moving in underground karst systems, old volcano tubes. The wealthy in this country built all sorts of mag rails to go back and forth. Who's to say some of the older abandoned ones, or they're not even using them? When you are that physically adept, like one thing I tell people too, like why are they this? They seem to be this hybrid between modern humans, you know, Homo sapiens sapien, and something more ancient, like a Gigantopithecus or something. Why do they still have the long arms, you know, that are more ape-like as opposed to, you know, being more proportional like ours? And my opinion is, yeah, they may not be arboreal, they may not be in trees anymore, but I think they spend a lot of time in mountainous regions where having that extra length, having that mid-tarsal break, that flexibility, combined with the strength and endurance to reach higher spots, both externally, but also internally underground, which is where the retinol, which is why we find deer with the liver missing and stuff, because they're eating enough vitamin A, basically overdosing to where they can see as good in the dark as possible, right? Anyway.
I want to pose something to you. I was doing a show a little while back on Neanderthal. Have you seen the new studies that came out on Neanderthal?
Not the new studies, but if you're talking a few years ago, sure. Like within 6 months, no.
So the recent ones that came out, this is maybe a little over a year ago, came out. Yeah. They said that we've been wrong about Neanderthal. They were bigger, stronger, and hairier than we originally thought.
Don't believe anything the Smithsonian says or our government or our textbooks that have been written. It's all malarkey, but that's...
Yeah. So I posed this question to people. You know, there's different types of Bigfoot. One of them is very humanistic looking. So I posed two theories to them, which both of these I think might be good.
Love it.
Could one of them be the last remnants of Neanderthal that we don't know about because of all the stories about that we've heard about Neanderthal from the ancient people that talked about it?
Yep.
Or are we looking at a human Tonka crossbred? Or are we looking at both? You know, so I've always wondered that, because I've always said, it's like, look, you know, when we was growing up, we was told, oh, Homo erectus was the first ape to ever jump out of the trees and walk upright. You know, evolution happens. There's no doubt. Evolution does happen. Does it happen in the way the mainstream science says? I don't think so. I think it's you adapt to your environment.
See, and that's where I would politely disagree. I think evolution is bullshit. Complete crap. Adaptability and spontaneous adaptability sometimes for certain animals is completely possible, especially if you were more in tune with running this ship that we have been put in to move in this plane.
Yeah. And that's where I kind of get at. So when I talk about evolution, I'm talking about adapting. You adapt to your environment.
Sure. Then we're on the same page. Yeah.
It takes what? 2 generations, and your generation is completely transformed from the original one that came to that area. I think it's about 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'll iterate on that. So yes, it could absolutely be Neanderthal. If you were just to take any picture of a supposed real one, put it in AI, and just get rid of the hair, it looks like a Neanderthal or human. I know for a fact that within 10 generations of just you or I going out into the woods, surviving with a group, 50 or more, because 50 is about the limit where you start to get genetic variations that are not good. Yeah. So you need 50 or more. So let's say 200 of us go out, break into clans, which is what is happening. Within 10 generations, you would look like a wild man. If someone caught you from the corner of the eye, given your everything, you might think hermit, but you definitely think like some kind of feral human. Within 100 generations, you would be a version of Bigfoot. You would, if they saw you, they would go, your hair lengthens, your skin darkens, your nose widens. If you're moving to hunt, if you're becoming more primal, I mean, if you're moving back to the natural world, less tools, more like just physical prowess, just by being down in the spider crawl position, your shoulders are going to get massive. Your diet is going to change. Your mandibles are going to enlarge from gnashing and chewing. I mean, we're losing teeth now as a culture because we have these little baby Muppet jaws now because we're not chewing. Our feet are bound at birth. They teach you to bind your feet. Those are coffins for your feet. It's wrong. Anyway, I'll digress into
dude, I agree with you.
Within 1,000 generations, you are Bigfoot.
Yeah.
1,000 generations, you are 8 feet or bigger, because selective breeding, people will naturally begin. The biggest male is going to get the biggest, most robust female, because you need that. You want your best chance of survival. We will become Bigfoot. So it is 100% possible that some of the things we are experiencing in the woods are simply humans that turn their back on civilization.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. And that's what I was trying to get at.
I agree with you.
we do change. I've got something I'm going to play for you here in a little bit. But first, we got a question from Roxanne.
Sure.
She says, Ryan, when you were in Springfield, Missouri, did you go to the camp out afterwards? And if you did anything happen?
Oh, you mean this past year?
Yeah. Yeah, the one we all met at. Yep.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. I was destroyed by chiggers. Destroyed so bad that I have never had my legs tore up that miserable. Because usually you go home, you shower, and then you deal with it. Well, I camped out for what, with 3 days, was it, or whatever?
Yep.
Oh, dude, I've never been that destroyed at an event ever. So that's the main thing that happened to me there. In terms of actual encounters or anything, no. Okay. I'll tell you the one thing that happened that was very interesting. That I would never have said anything unless okay. So we have 3 tents like this. 1 tent here, tent here, all sleeping with each other. I would go to the same spot to go potty each time during the day. I always pick the same spot. I try to be habitual in case anybody's around, because they kind of get a feel for you and go, okay, he's going to go the same, especially if they want to make contact, because I'm reaching out with my mind the whole time. So I go to this one spot. I go when it's dark now. And for any of you that have ever seen one, it doesn't matter if it's pitch black dark, but you can still see, or just when the shadows are in play, when you're seeing one, because amongst all the shadows and the darkness, there is a darkness, a black outline that is different. It's just, and whether it's because it's staring at you and you can feel that, which there's a guy named Dr. Rupert Sheldrake who proved that if you stare at someone, you are actually physically touching them on a electron level. You're actually touching, which is why if I was training you to do security in a mall, I would say never stare at the person through the video camera, because even through another medium, they can feel you. That's just wild stuff that I wish they taught in school. But yeah, I'm going to the bathroom, and then there's something about 15 feet away, but it's little. And I've never seen like a little one. You know what I mean? Like the things that I've witnessed or bear witness to felt big, sounded big, shadow big. But this was just little. It was like it was crouched there. But I'm going potty, and I'm like, that's different. And I'm trying not to look at it too much, but I didn't think anything of it because we had just done a conference. And the night after a conference, I like to relax. I like to make it about everyone else after I've just talked my butt off. I want to hear everyone else's stories. I want to fall in love with it all over again by hearing other people, just like you guys just. But then I went back, and it was there again. And then I went late night, and it was there again. And I went, okay, the next day I'm going to make sure there's not a stump there, which there wasn't. So the next morning, but I still not going to say anything. I'm tired. I'm overtired. Well, the next morning we sit around the campfire, and they asked, did you witness anything? And I'm so bummed that I can't remember the gentleman's name. He was the older gentleman. He's a mentor in the space. I'm so sorry. But he goes, yeah, I had something strange happen last night. And I went, oh, that's right near our tents. He goes, yeah, in the middle of the night, I heard something, sounded smaller. And when he said that, I perked up and went, okay, because I'd never seen a baby Bigfoot. And he goes, something came up to my tent and put a small hand on my tent and ran it down. And I watched it. And he said, yeah, I think one of them came up, a young one came up to my tent last night. And then I went, you know what's funny about that? That same young one watched me go potty 3 times at least. So yeah, I think a younger Bigfoot, I may have been so close to it, and all I would have had to do was turn my phone on and do this, and I would have the best footage ever. But I was tired, and I, like typical, like you're like, nah, can't be that good. But yeah, that's how close. But that's the only thing besides getting my legs absolutely mauled. It looked like I was turning into a zombie. I was about to eat some brains. Yeah.
William Nighthawk wants to say, RPG, the man, the myth, the smaller hairy man.
I am. I'm getting older. Like the hair on the top is going, but the hair everywhere else on the back, everywhere is like booming. So maybe I'm becoming a Bigfoot. I'll see you in the woods, buddy. Be careful. Don't give me the address.
So I'm going to play something for you, and I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory on this. Last winter, I was dealing with some supernatural stuff out here, but I had some other things going on too. Okay. Like once a day for like 2 weeks straight, I'd hear this loudest wolf howl I've ever heard in my life, and it was even went over my surround sound. Like I can hear it over my surround sound. I'd done a Sunday show. I had Jessica Jones on with me. We were backstage talking. You know, a lot of times my guests like to talk with me backstage after the show, so I always give them that opportunity. And so we were kind of talking. We got done talking. I was like, man, I got to get some firewood. So I'm like, I'm going to be outside for a few minutes. I just put a jacket on. I was in shorts and shoes, and I go out back to the woodshed, and I'm grabbing up an armload of wood in the wood stove. Mm-hmm. And to the north of me, at the edge of my woods, was that wolf owl. Not even a split second later, to the south of me in my woods was a pack of coyotes, extremely loud pack of coyotes. So I'm like, oh shit, am I stuck in the middle of a turf war here? You know, so I was like, okay, dude, I've got all I'm in is a short and a hoodie and tennis shoes with an armful of wood. I was like, I'm gonna get my little
you were in boxers and cowboy boots. That's all you were. Come on.
No, it was wintertime. I had shorts on. So I came back inside and I grabbed my parabolic mic. I was like, man, I've been trying to catch this wolf owl so people can understand what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So I put it out there. I come inside. I set it up on my front porch, and I got it facing to the north where that wolf owl was. I come inside and I shut everything off in my house. And I just sit there for 2 hours in the darkness. I mean, that's what I don't want. No pollution, no noise pollution, none of that stuff going on. What I want to capture, I want it to be authentic. And I caught a lot of stuff, but I caught something, and I've caught 3 versions of this, but this is one of the best ones you're going to hear. And I caught something that I didn't think I would ever catch in my life, and it wasn't what I was expecting. And I'll play that for you real quick. I caught a female Bigfoot going, Shante. You know what Shante means?
Oh, is that what? Because I heard ooh,
yeah,
but I couldn't.
If you listen,
can you play one more?
Yeah, you'll have to probably turn your volume up. You'll hear it better.
I'm doing it. Yep. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Yeah. You know what Shante means?
I'm hoping it means friend or something, or brother. What does it mean?
It is Lakota for calm yourself. It's even in the Lakota lullaby. Shante washte hochte da dagiashti ma ha ha hepe he washte oh yeah. The very first word, Shante. That was the very first word.
It was calming you down. Wow. Or was it speaking to the coyotes, or was it speaking to
you? It was actually speaking to the juveniles that was climbing up the ladder on my porch, playing on my porch, playing with my parabolic mic, and walking on my roof. And I've got those too.
Oh,
this was all going on. This all happened in a 2-hour period.
Wow. See, that's always a question I ask people. It's like, once you stare into the void stares back, right? Yeah. So the fact that you've done all these investigations, if they are local and all of this is happening, then they know who you are. And if their range can be as epic as 200 miles or more, they can very easily follow you home and see who you are and where you're at. So that's pretty powerful stuff. The fact that they're climbing all over, good Lord, amazing.
I've been living with the ones here at my house for 33 years. I've had 33 years of experiences with him here. When my mom was still alive and my dad was here, before I bought the property after my mom passed away, I bought the property off my dad. Mm-hmm. I would go to work or school. And in the morning, because they used to only come in the mid to late fall to early to mid-spring time range. It was about the time they were here.
Yep.
And I would always, in the morning when I go to leave, I'd hear a whoop, 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 whenever I go to leave. When they first come in, and I was, hey, good to see you. Glad you're here. I got to go. I'll see you later. And that's what I've always done. 33 years, this was a routine that I did. And then whenever my mom passed away and I bought the property off my dad, I started having activity 24/7, like 7 days a week. I have activity. I go out here. Every time I go out, I get new footprints, new tree manipulations, new whatever. I mean, I've caught stuff that I swear is like, I don't know if it's like a little playpen for a baby or what. When I was in that documentary, Byways of Bigfoot with Linda Eastburn, one of the things we filmed out here, because this is where most of the Bigfoot activity along the 9 rivers happening, was on my property. A lot of it's filmed here on my property.
How many acres are you on?
40.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you, dude. I love it.
That's humble but awesome bragging rights, and I wish that for everybody. But anyway,
yeah, and most of it's wood.
Great.
Like 99% of it's woods.
You got natural springs on there?
No, but I got natural creek beds. I've got a pond to the north of me, a pond to the east of me, a pond to the south of me, and the river to the west of me.
Amazing.
No,
Amazing.
Sorry, east of me. East of me is the river. I live along the Niagara River, so it's known for Bigfoot and dogmen.
You got, yeah. That's a good water source, which is an easy way to move and hide, especially at night. Yeah, that's
plus all the caves.
Which, I would say, people need to start looking underground. You really do. Any level of intelligence, there is oxidative stress out here, predatorial stress out here, nature's like just all sorts of stress that if you go under, pretty same temperature minus pockets of bad gases, but they over, exaggerate that and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, underground is great. And cave systems, that's what I would do. Why do they have to sleep out in the elements every night? I wouldn't do that if I didn't have to. It's foolish.
Like when I was talking to the chat whenever you was taking care of your youngins, I said, you forget things. We were talking about Native Americans and caves. It's like, look, Native Americans use caves to get out of the elements too. When they're traveling, if a storm popped up, Bigfoot I'm a big believer in Bigfoot's doing. But Native Americans also buried their dead in caves sometimes. Yeah. Why is Bigfoot not doing that? I think they are.
That, once again, it goes back to people being specious and just assuming that we are the most intelligent species. And I'm like, well, then you know nothing about octopi, dolphins, crows, or Bigfoot, Chimps.
Look what chimps do. They use tools. They use weapons. I mean, look what happened in Vietnam. The Allied soldiers in Vietnam was known to shoot monkeys because the monkeys was going from treetop to treetop, carrying a tree over or a branch over their shoulder, acting like they're carrying a rifle, just like the troops were. They're giving their positions away. There's multiple things out there that will. Okay, William, that sounds good, bro. That is very, very smart, and we need to consider that. And I tell people all the time, when it comes to Sea Tonka, for instance, Bigfoot, they're human life forms as well. They're a type of human life form just like we are. They're different species, but genetically, we're very similar because the native people talk about having offsprings with them. Other cultures have talked about these offsprings. The only way that's going to happen is we got to be either genetically identical or damn near right there. I mean, just maybe one little chromosome off, if that.
It would have to be wild. Well, see, we don't know if, so, a horse and a donkey, then you get a mule, but they're sterile. So maybe we can breed, but these beings are sterile. We don't know. Or if they can breed and then continue to breed, then we just look different. I mean, if you go anywhere in the world, you go to the most ethnically diverse Asian place, Africana place, Northern Europe place, and you line those people up, they will look like Homo erectus, Neanderthal, and Homo sapiens sapiens. I mean, they will look radically different. And that's just us. So who's to say these aren't even more radically different? And I also say that to people. I'm like, go remote.
Yes. J.R.
Tolkien used to draw these characters, and they had exaggerated noses and ears and everything. And you think that it's just imagination. No, he was just doing the old timers that lived as far away from civilization and culture as possible, because that's what happens when you live more in tune with nature. It just is what it is. You look more natural, less doll-faced and baby-faced, because you're not using these gifts God gave you. Anyway.
Well, and I tell people this all the time. I've done investigations of different types all over this world. I was in the military for 13 years. 13 years, 4 deployments, 2 ex-wives later, I hung my boots up. Me and the new military
service with the ladies and with
me and the new military, when a certain president with a letter O in his name was in office, did not get along. And it was time for me to go. I was too hurt. I was too injured. I couldn't keep up with it. They were trying to get rid of us old salt dogs. It was time for me to go. But I've experienced things all over this world, and there's something I've known from all over this world is if you go and treat this entity with respect, you go there with positivity, you're more likely to get in an encounter than if you're going. It's like the old Native American proverb: when you're hunting, you don't think about hunting because your thoughts soar through the air like arrows on an open field, and they pick it up. It's the same thing with investigating.
Yep.
When I go out and invest, I'm not going out there and go, hey, I want to capture a ghost, or hey, I was like, hey, look at this tree, look at this chair. This is what I'm doing. I'm talking. And, like when I did the paranormal investigation at the Pythian Castle in Springfield, there's a group there that's all they do is investigate that Pythian Castle.
Right.
And when that was done, that investigation, they're like, dude, how did you get all that evidence? We've done this and that got nearly what you got in just one night. I said, because you forget it, people forget. These things are still human. They're just not flesh and blood human anymore. Mm-hmm. I go in there, it's like any other investigation. It starts out kind of slow. Hey, what are you doing here? Get out, blah, blah, blah. They don't know you. They don't trust you. You earn that trust, and it's the same thing with Bigfoot. It's the same thing with anything else. Once you earn that trust, then it's just a wave of activity. And that's something I try to tell people all the time is go there with a pure heart, positivity. Don't go there going, I'm going to capture a Bigfoot today. No, go in there. Hey, look at that squirrel. Look at that tree. And you'll be surprised what you get.
Yeah. And it just comes down to respect. If you go into somebody else's house, you don't scream at them. You usually bring a gift. I always tell people Native American wisdom, set your intention, let them know you're coming. You don't have to believe in mind speak, telepathy, prayer, whatever you want to. You don't have to for it to work. But look at a map, know where you're going, let the Bigfoot entities, whatever you're hoping to go into, we're coming. We would love a genuine experience, and begin to ruminate or focus on this and the longer you do it, the stronger the signal gets. Then once you get there, say, hey, we're here. And like I said, turn everything on before you even pull in, because that's when the knock, 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 and the whoops, and then quiet. And then when you get out, show the woods. You have an offering. Leave some organic fruit. I mean, leave whatever your gut tells you, because everyone's different. And all of these Bigfoot are different. But then proceed to go through the woods, and yes, be present in nature. Be non-threatening, because it's the threat that's going to keep anything away from you. And I hate to say it, but our reputation precedes us. We are psychotic, hairless apes. And we will shoot first. So that's why they got to be very, very, very careful. And God forbid we go to an area they love. Like we come here once a year, every year, because this is our special creek, special spot. They know this is why orca doesn't attack humans. Wolves mostly won't attack humans, not because we're vengeful. We will come back and we will burn it all to the ground, and we will hunt you into extinction. So yeah. Come and be wildly respectful. But also I would even add to that, be repetitive. Go to the same spot, just like I went potty on the same spot every time. Just do that over years with respect, and boom, if they're there, if that's a good spot, they're going to start to wink at you.
William had a question. I don't know if you want me to say it out loud. I can always tell him, because I do shows with him as well, co-host with him. But what state are you living in now? Might need him to help a new reporting system. He's building a reporting system.
Oh, nice. Way to go,
on the stuff. But I don't give my guest location out without their permission. You can either say it or I can tell him after.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm in Florida now. I'm a Florida boy. So we've been here 6 years. Yeah, it's awesome. One of the best moves we ever made. And I know Ohio is super hot right now, but so is Florida. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. But we're moving into spring, so everywhere should be popping. So
I've got something else I'm going to play for you. This is that same night, because you remember I was telling you can hear these things walking up my ladder.
Yeah.
I caught them going up my ladder. Here we go. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong one. That was them walking on my roof.
I was like, okay.
I had it labeled as ladder, but that wasn't the ladder. That was them walking on my roof. You can hear them go thump, thump, thump on my roof. My bad.
That's all right.
So I'll just play this other one. This is one of the two males that I captured right when I captured that female. That was the closer male.
What is? Are they using language
Cherokee.
again? Cherokee.
Yeah. Nakanolika, something like that. It's when they say that ka. That's telltale Cherokee. We thought it was Kickapoo at first until we started hearing, oh crap, you can hear the ka afterwards.
And honestly, I wouldn't look so deep into it. The first place I'd start is they're Cherokee. That's what they were originally before they walked back into the woods and went deeper into nature. That's where I would start. I'm not saying that's guaranteed it, but start there, and then we'll move into some kind of unknown ape or something else, interdimensional, whatever. But yeah, they're speaking the language. Like, you got to look at the most basic signs, right? Because even if they're intelligent enough to understand certain parts of language, why the heck would they use it? Anyway.
I'm sorry, man. I just got a kick out of William there for.
What do you do?
It says RPG. Eric is like a giddy schoolgirl on her first day with you.
You guys obviously are not friends.
No, not me and Brother William. No.
Brother William, you're great, bud. You're great.
William Nighthawk, he's a very dear friend of mine. He's a Lakota medicine man. So a lot of native stuff I like to get from him, because this was taught down from his people. It was passed down, and he talks about how Shiatonka, which is Lakota for Bigfoot, Shiatonka. This is how they learn language, and they can speak language. So when you start hearing that samurai chatter, because I've heard that samurai chatter multiple times out here. I've heard that Ghibli out here several times before. I mean, I've heard that type of stuff. And I've never been able to capture it. And then the one time I accidentally captured one, when I was trying to catch a wolf owl, I got him speaking Lakota and Cherokee. Both the males spoke Cherokee and the female spoke Lakota. I mean,
that is pretty wild. And one thing to consider, which I'm sure you have, is that wolf howl was just them, because they can mimic any sound in the forest, and they can do it with such power that it would appear to be the biggest wolf, that is like a dire wolf,
Yeah.
And that could have been what that was, it could have been that simple, because that throws you off. You think, dog, when in fact, no, it's just they're wildly intelligent and messing with you. Yeah.
See, I've heard that, 500-pound owl. I've heard that 500-pound dog. 500-pound bird and that 500-pound dog. Like when I was telling you a couple winters ago, I've had it the last 2 winters. It's been something kind of supernatural messing with me out here.
Yeah.
So a couple winter goes, when it first started, the video is on my YouTube. It's called Mimic. I ran out of gas right at the end of my drive, and it's like dead of night. I'm trying to walk home, and I keep hearing something. I was like, why's my dogs out? So I was kind of worried about that, and I was like, wait, that's not a dog. That's something trying to mimic my dog. Ooh. And I pulled my phone up in time just to get the last little that I was hearing coming from my woods to my north, because when I got closer, I could hear my dogs inside of the house. So I was like, okay, that definitely is not my dogs. So I get the last second, so see me try to throw my phone around, because I went, oh crap, the light came on when I was trying to record this thing going roof, roof, at my woods. And it sounded very much like a woof, woof, not a roof, roof. It was a woof, woof, just like that.
Yeah.
And so I get there. I have to call. I went to grab a gas can. My gas can was empty. So I had to call roadside service. So I'm waiting on roadside service to get there. Get a message, they're on the way. So like, okay, I got to walk back. Well, this whole time, something was messing with me as I was walking back to my truck, and I've got a pretty good little track from my house to the end of the road. You can't see the road from my house.
Baby, 40 acres. Let's go.
Yeah. So whenever I was sitting there coming back, I heard something in the trees, and I popped my Surefire shot flashlight up there real quick. Nothing was there. Couldn't see it. Nothing. I'm like, okay, son of a bitch. I said, this ain't cryptid. This ain't Bigfoot. This is something else. I know what this is. This feeling, you can feel the energy of this thing. So I was like, okay, I'm not dealing with Bigfoot. I don't think I'm dealing with Dogman. I think this is something supernatural messing with me. Okay. And so I'll go to walking a little bit more. Then all of a sudden I hear something on top of my pop-up camper. So bam, just right off bat, bam, I pop my light over there. Nothing's on my pop-up camper. I'm like, oh shit.
They're getting you spinning around.
Yeah. So I get to my truck, and I'm like, okay, the dude ain't here yet. I'm not sitting outside my truck. I got my truck, shut the door, grabbed my pistol, and put it in my lap. I was like, no, if I'm going to go, I'm a screamer, baby. I'm going to go out screaming.
Yeah.
That's how it was. And then I started hearing what sounded like tree limbs scraping the side of my truck. And I'm like, The closest tree I got is a small cedar tree 5 foot away from my truck. And as I said, 5 foot is at the end of the limbs of the cedar tree. What the hell is scraping the side of my truck?
Yeesh.
And
yeah, that's spooky.
To seeing old person in my shop screaming at us. This goes into people calling out my kids' name, trying to pretend me to be me, trying to pretend to be them, trying to be her friend. This was all happening in my field and in my shop. Because I kept getting on to my daughters, like, I'm coming home. Why the hell's my shop door open? Why is my shop light on? She's like, Dad, it ain't me. I said, I've been gone. I work 10-hour days. It's not me. I just shut this dang thing off last night.
Yeah.
Then this started happening. I went, oh, crap. I've got something supernatural here. Something supernatural and evil, which I don't know if you know about Moon Valley.
No.
Moon Valley is the home of the Dallas County cannibals. Something that D.A. Roberts and I am working on. We think it may have a big W connection to it. Okay. Well, things have been leaking from that area, and I'm not far from Moon Valley. Not far at all. So
they say if you digest the heart, the brain, and you begin to eat certain things, you gain powers. I mean, this is back to Mesopotamia days. So yeah, if this is a thriving cannibalistic community using dark magic, occult stuff, maybe even a combination with technology over a very long period of time, including breeding and living outside of the distractions and the limitations our culture puts on magic and power. Yeah, you could be, who knows what they're capable of in terms of shape-shifting or like throwing their voice or even being demonic or whatever nature's equivalent of that is, Yeah, that's hardcore. But once again, I would argue they maintain some sort of intelligence enough to where they don't mess with anyone that's going to bring it back to them and ruin their way of life. We outbreed them. So even if there's thousands of them, that's a war you can't win. Oh, is that your baby kitty?
Yeah, this is one of many. Oh, she is, this is Aurora. She's one of the oldest ones.
Hi, Borealis.
Hi. She's needy. So every now and then during the show, well, every show I get on, she's now got to be up there on my shoulder, just kind of, you're going to spank my butt, Dad, and pat my butt so I can go to sleep. And
you want to know what's funny is I've never met another person that does that. Not saying they don't, but whenever I pick up our cats, and they're working cats, they're farm cats, they're outdoor, but we feed them, shelter, everything. So they mostly sleep on the porch. And, twice a week, there's a dead something on the steps. But I always held them up over my shoulder like this so they can see and they got a grip. And I never cradle. I only hold them like that. And I've never seen anyone else do that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. She's my baby. I mean, I've got 6 cats and 2 dogs. And I got way too many animals. But
so you're the crazy cat guy. I've never met the crazy cat guy.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm him. Like, I sit in my fat guy comfy chair, and I've got 2 dogs and 6 cats on me. I'm like, dude, this is my fat guy comfy chair. It's mostly me relaxing time, and I'm covered with fur.
That sounds like a therapy chair, bud, and a really good one. That's all I can say. That's well, you also have, with 6 cats, you basically have 3 animals capable of seeing beyond the veil.
Oh,
if you would ask certain people. Who knows how that is attracting things and whatnot, It's pretty wild. Yeah. Plus, we got to get under the ground near where you live. I don't know if you've done any, try to bring up any seismic stuff or LiDAR, but that's what I would do. You look all the way down. Yeah.
I've got a cave entrance. It's just right over here to the east of me, right at the river.
There you go.
I've been there since I was 16 because I ran into a panther while I was in there.
Which is the only known animal that I would legitimately afraid of, because that's going to get you and you're going to be eaten alive, So that's I don't blame you for being scared on that. Let's make sure people wear the googly eyes in the back of your helmet when you walk in the woods, because that may help you.
And that's interesting because back in the late 90s, before I left for the Corps in 99. I left in August of 99, August 16, 2019. That's when I left for the Corps. And before then, okay, I'll get to your question just in a second, William. We had a string of animal mutilations along the Niagara River and W Highway, which is not far from me. This was horses, this was cattle, this was sheep, this was dogs, this was cats, this was chicken. Like the bulls, I mean, even a bull had his throat ripped out, the sides of his chest ripped out, and they tried to blame it on a pack of bull mastiffs. I'm like, dude, the bull mastiffs, they're not going to do that. I'm sorry. And a bull mastiff's not going to take down a bull.
That they'd have to be like severely rabied up, and a few other things working in their favor as they went for it. I don't know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's improbable.
Yeah. So, well, our thought at the time, it was cougars, which we've always fought with Missouri Conservation about cougars, because they say cougars ain't here. The hell they ain't. Like literally, like a week before this happened, I had one running in front and down the highway in front of my truck. Don't tell me these things ain't here. I've ran into them along the Niagara River. I know these things are here.
Yep.
But what gets me interested is I'm not sure a mountain lion can take down a full-grown bull.
Well, would it? Right? Like that's what's weird. This would have to be a extremely large tom, like a 200, like 180, 200, like big enough. Because could it? Yes. I think they're arguably the world's greatest land predator outside of whatever these rock hominids are that we're talking about. But yeah, that is like wild behavior. That's like those lions in Africa learning to take down elephants, which they should be afraid of, but they're like, no, we're going to team up and hunt you.
Yeah.
Or even giraffe, taking on giraffe, which once again, it's about minimalizing threat, because if you get hurt in nature, there's no hospital you go to. You're done. You can't eat anymore. You're dead. So it's highly risky, which is psychotic behavior, which, anyway, I'm agreeing with you. It doesn't make sense to be a big tom.
Well, there's a big difference too between an African lion and a mountain lion. African lions hunt in packs. Mountain lions are solo hunters.
Right. So that means they would team up. So all of a sudden you got two brothers teamed up. Crazier things have happened, right? Isn't that with the ghost in the what was that movie with Michael Douglas and but that was about two lions that teamed up and went rogue and acted uncharacteristically.
Ghost in the Darkness.
In the Darkness. Yeah. So who knows if it wasn't a Ghost in the Darkness scenario, but with mountain.
It could be. But it was always weird because it was the front of their throats that were ripped out. And usually when a mountain lion comes in the back. So we didn't think about it till later on. And back then I didn't know a whole lot about dogman, because I called everything werewolf back then.
Sure. Yeah.
Which, let's be politically correct here. Dogman was coined in 1984. Yes, it's a relatively new name. So back then, a standard reason why I haven't heard about Dogman, it was still fairly new back then.
Sure.
And then I started thinking, holy crap, Niagara River is known for Bigfoot and Dogman. I guarantee a damn Dogman would go after a full-grown bull if it was hungry enough.
Yeah.
So that makes me wonder, is that what's going on? It was something interesting that I just love how conservation tried. Oh, it's a pack of bull mastiffs. No, it wasn't a pack of bull mastiffs. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. Well, they're always going to throw the bear thing at it. And say, it's just a bear. It's just a cat. They have to, because to go back to my Oklahoma story at the casino, if you do not, then everything in that area is going to die in one night, because we will show up with thunder sticks.
Hell yeah. William Nighthawk says, hey, RPG, what's the average weight or height of a reported sighting in Florida?
Okay, here's what I find interesting about that, because you would think they would be smaller, right? You get closer to the equator, people get littler, animals don't have to get as big, but at the same time, in areas that have increased atmospheric pressure, higher oxygen levels and stuff, you can still have giantism and massive things. So here's the only thing I can tell you. I don't know the exact answer to that. I haven't conducted that study, so I don't know. I only know what we've seen on our property and what my friends have seen here, and even recently. And they all are the same basic height that everyone sees everywhere. Somewhere between 7 and 10 feet tall, more like 7 to 9 feet tall. One on our property had to have been over 9. If you look at the Starkey Park video, which is kind of as close as possible, that one is very tall and very skinny. So I think they're more like humans. So you have diversity in size. And I would argue that the ones here tend to be maybe thinner, maybe not as robust. But my buddy Mike Aguilar just saw one, and it was massive, and it was everything that you think about when you think about a Bigfoot. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of variety to it, and I think that I don't know if they're using underground and they are truly migrating, kind of like us. Where do we go in the winter? Well, if you're from New England, you come down to Florida, you spend some time. I think that's what you're witnessing. You're witnessing all the same sizes, which denotes a subspecies because there's this universal set. The feet are all kind of universally the same size. Yeah, but that would be really interesting if someone did a study to find out what the average height was. And I'd bet a lucky penny that it's probably 8 foot.
Yeah,
right around 8 foot. You know,
I wasn't trying to ignore you. It sounded like somebody was walking in my house. That's why I was looking at my door here. Because I was like,
listen, after you explain where you live, it probably was. So hope your gun's in your lap as well.
May or may not have something close by, but now it's like, okay, my dogs ain't acting up, but I clearly heard the footsteps and felt it in the floor. So I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on?
I'm gonna give you a book though. I know you're busy, man. You ever have time? It's called Quantum Paranormal, and I'm giving that to all your guests as well. A lot of us, for some of us, it's cool what's going on your property, and it's exciting, and you embrace it. It's part of who you are. But for most people, they don't want anything to do with it. That is scary. That is not cool. That takes them away from their life. So for those of you that struggle with it and don't like it, or you want to become what I have become, which is a cooler for paranormal activity and all kind of activity, I read the book Quantum Paranormal by Patrick Jackson. And if it resonates with you, you're going to immediately, upon finishing that book, be half as afraid as you were in haunted places. For me, it almost completely vanished. I no longer fear demons. And remember, I'm not saying that can't be what it is and true and all of that. But if you read Quantum Paranormal, what we are dealing with in haunted houses, in haunted woods, and haunted graveyards, anywhere where you're having something where you can't see it, even when you shine your light, it's gone. You're dealing with what this gentleman has figured out. And I think he's right. I think he's dead on. And ever since I go into these areas and I explain, I know what you are. And if you want me to leave, you don't have to show me demonic stuff. You don't have to scare me. You just open the door or knock 3 times and I'll leave. And once you explain that you know what they are, suddenly it all changes. And now I haven't been on as many expeditions and stuff that I would like to now, being a dad of 4 and stuff. So I haven't had, I'm not as crazy out there like I once used to be. So I will say that because maybe I would still run into it. But on the adventures I have been thus far, including the craziest thing I ever experienced, which was in Nebraska, it doesn't affect me anymore. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't want anything to do with me. And I don't know if that's respect, because I say, I respect you. You don't have to scare me, whatever. If you don't want me here, just let me know and I will leave. I'm only here temporarily, but I'm not afraid of you. And I think that fear is exactly, read this book, dude. It will wow you. It's using fear to move you out of areas for a reason. And I won't ruin what that reason is to you, but that is 100% what I believe today, and 100% what I think is going on. And if anyone's having problems in their home or in a certain area, I can also explain to you how to make that activity stop, which is also crazy because most people can't do that. They come in, they say words, they try this, they investigate, but they don't know how to make it stop. It is time extensive and costs a little bit of money, but you can do it. So anyway, read the book. Next time you have me on, maybe we'll have a discussion about it. And he has another book that came out after. But I've been testing all of his tech since it was, I actually built a model of his back in the day, like 4 years ago now or plus. And every time I've set his equipment off, these things that, in my opinion, like I said, are causing ghost activity, demonic activity, even Bigfoot activity, they come to check it out. So that's my way.
Well, it's like, so I've told this to him many times. I call him my guest. I've lived with my guest for 33 years. And I've got documented, it's on the Byways Bigfoot documentary, documented family group that comes through here. We found juvenile footprints, what we believe is a female, up to the big buck male. That's the size. We have 3 different sizes of footprints on the exact same trail.
Nice.
The exact same time frame. So,
And are they inside of each other, or they're separate? They're not walking.
No, they're separate. These were separate footprints, within a 5 foot span of each other.
Yeah.
So it's in one of my biggest. So I've got 4 spots. That's the most heaviest with Bigfoot activity. The one is that thermal image, which I can load up. Is that thermal image I caught here on the other side of my drive, right at the edge of my trees. Nice. And I've had a lot of vocalization there. They strip my cedar bark from my cedar trees there quite often. And me and my youngest daughter came home and we was hearing stuff walking around in the woods over here.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, that's awful heavy to be deer.
Yeah.
That sounds awful heavy to be deer. So I just kind of, it's like, honey, go inside, stay inside. And I kind of followed her in, went and grabbed my thermal camera, stuck it in the bottom of my phone, came out, and just kind of leaned up in my truck, kind of looked like I was texting.
Yeah.
And I'm running this thermal. And I can load that up real quick. And I get a split second of this, just a couple seconds of this thing hiding behind a tree.
Woo!
Yeah. Let me get out of this part because I'll have to upload it. And you'll see me as I'm getting ready to move my camera.
Just main house. Sorry to interrupt. It's called Quantum Paranormal. That's it. That's the title of the book by Patrick Jackson. Quantum Paranormal by Patrick Jackson.
So, thank you. I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on it.
I can address some of these things too. I finally got the chat going, so I can finally see what people are saying.
All right.
But he says, what about a witch? And I would entice people to do a deep dive on where witches came from, the divine feminine, and women stepping to the full embodiment of their power and their connection to the divine source and the ether around us. Witches, are there people that work in the occult and attempt to use these powerful things that exist in our reality to do dark stuff? Sure. But they had the Salem witch trials. That was a witch hunt. That's organized religion pushing itself on the world and deepening its grasp, playing off of people's fears. Women were the first brewmasters, and the way that they stood out among other people at fairs and different places was they had a giant cauldron that they brewed it in. They had giant pointed hats so that they would stand out. And men, and I'm not bagging men or anything, but they basically said, oh, these women are making something that everyone loves, and they just destroyed it, took that from them, and then shit on the imagery. For the most part, it's all malarkey, but I'm not saying there aren't some people that use that because they know that it works to frighten people. But yeah, no. And most witches are good, really good. I've got a bunch of friends. They're amazing. They're just in tune with nature like we are.
Yeah, and so I'm open about this. I myself has never practiced dark magic, but I have firsthand seen, because of family members, a side of my family.
I heard that. A lot of cats.
Something just moved a bell on my top of my daughter's door, and my daughter's not here.
Nice.
Good. Right after I heard that footstep. But anyways, there's a side of my family that practiced dark magic, and I've seen what happened to them. That's why I will have no part of that dark magic. Yeah. Now, I'm a firm believer. I mean, and we all don't think the same, don't agree, and that's great. I love that. I believe there's a difference between actual medicine people, which is what people would consider a white witch nowadays, and actual witchcraft, which is dark magic. That's just me, and that's just because of my experiences. Yeah. But I've seen what that does, and I've seen practicing that art, what it does to people, and that's like, I'm never getting into that dark magic shit. I'm just not going to do it.
And here, and I'm going to tell you as simple as I think it is. And then main house, I'll answer your thing about elementals and dimensional shifts. You are what you ruminate and focus on.
Yeah.
And, we like to jump to the part where they cast a spell and the demon is born. But maybe, and I'm not saying I know, but maybe it is as simple as if you are consistently focusing on demonic things and evil things and stuff, you will physically transform your own body. You will physically alter the space around you. We are basically water. Look at the experiments they do with positive thought on waters and negative thought on waters and how it transforms it. I think it's as simple as whatever you ruminate on, you're going to manifest and create. And when you focus on darkness, you will become the darkness. And it's that simple. Which, to answer that thing, real witch and evil, yes, I believe you can get to a point where that is real. But what is that really? And I'm going to tell you what I think a real evil witch is. We are apex predators. All of us in this chat, every one of us is capable of completely dominating any environment we go into and owning it and conquering it. Someone like that, that's given completely over to this, and that's just one type of apex predator. That's all they are. It isn't evil. It isn't. It's a way of being. If I don't believe in good and evil, okay? I believe in right or wrong based on your cultural viewpoints, but there's no good or evil, because if evil and good are real, then we live in hell. Because the second you step off of this conversation and just go outside, do you want to know what the predators are doing? They're eating the babies and the elderly. Why?
And
minimize risk, easier to get to, more nutritious, right? Stem cells, all sorts of good things. So if that's the case, then we live in hell and we are stuck here pretending that it's heaven. I think we live in Eden, in heaven, and we have to transform it back to the way it was. But anyway, that's all I'm saying about in terms of real witch and evil. I do believe that's possible. That person has become an apex predator and they are hunting. Because what do you do? What do you do when you can hunt? And it's the easiest target too. Hunting other humans is the easiest target, right? They're not going after big pumas. They're going after bears and stuff. No, they're going to hunt humans because it's easy. It minimalizes risk. Anyway, and last thing, are you saying lines of elementals or dimensional shifts by energy manipulation? All I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, I don't have any of the answers to anything, but I have theories on everything because I've lived in this realm my whole life. And what I'm telling you is there is a piece of this puzzle that nobody sees that is missing, which is why did the Bigfoot tracks just end and go off of nowhere? Why, when people come to this place 50 years later, do they see the same dog man? These things, if you begin to ask these questions of why all this, there's a piece missing, and quantum paranormal is the piece. And I'll just give you this without fully giving it away. We live on a game preserve. You are the fanciest monkey, if you want to believe that, or Homo sapien, whatever you want to believe you are, animal in this realm, but you are watched. Who God is, what is watching you, I couldn't tell you, but you are being watched. And that technology or magic or whatever you want to call it that is watching us, we are interacting with it sometimes. And some of us are more in tune and able to interact with it more based on a whole bunch of stuff we need another podcast to talk about. But that is what's going on. There is a technology, in my opinion, that is part of this and is always there. When you have your Bigfoot encounter, it's either on an intercept or about to get there, or it is there. When you're having ghost activity, that is what it is, or it is protecting you from evil witches. So, anyway, just check out Quantum Paranormal. Hate me if you want about it, but it's going to open up your third eye and make you go, oh, no. It can't be that easy. There can't be this one thing that is the reason it's all real. Anyway, it's mind-blowing. But if you truly seek truth and full understanding and not just what you love about high strangeness and cryptozoology and paranormal and all that, then you're going to love it. And if not, then you'll be like, that guy's an idiot. And it's okay. It's okay.
I got permission from Brother William. I wasn't going to share his side of the dark magic because I didn't have his permission, even though he's open about it. Brother William has done the SW rituals. Brother William has done dark magic a lot. He's doing things differently nowadays, living a better life.
Good for him.
That's his is on the native side of the dark magic, where my family was more on the Washichu side, the European side of it. But Brother William has practiced and grew up around dark Native American magic his whole life, and he's partaken of it. Roxanne, if you wouldn't mind, honey, figure out about what did I miss something? I'm sorry. But so he's another source I have when it comes to the dark magic, because he's the Native American side of it. You know, like my grandpa, my mom's dad. My mom walked out one time with him making a deal with the devil. And yeah, and so I mean, there's a lot of that darkness has been on the side of my family, which I think is generational. I think it does get passed down because I've seen too much evidence all over this world. Okay, Roxanne, I will. Of what's going on around this world, it's the same. You know, we talk about certain things, you know, like what we consider werewolves nowadays. I mean, you know, we'll take modern day, you know, like the Rougarou. Okay. There are certain rituals, potions, chants, and stuff that has to go on to do it. If you study the Ulfanar, the wolf people of the Nordic, you study the Celtic werebeast, you study Mesoamerican werebeast, you study all this other stuff, it's the same thing. Even with the SW, there's a certain ritual you got to do. There's a certain chant. There's a certain potion you got to drink. There's a certain, you got to wear a skin. It's like that in every single one of them cultures. And it comes around. So there has to be something tied to it when you start studying that stuff and looking into it, you know, because I'm Norse. My family, I'm Norse and Dane is my two primary bloodlines.
Nice.
My family hail from Ragnar Lodbrok to Ivar the Boneless.
All right, Thor, let's go.
Yeah. So, and then the other side of my family, so the Testament side of my family came straight from England to here. And we were lord during the time of Dane law. We were lords of Oxfordshire, England during the time of Dane law, up until the French came and invaded and we lost Oxfordshire. And then the blacks, they came straight from Norway to here. So two sides of my family are in the Nordic bloodline. But, you know, so that stuff, that's why, like in my books, I write very Nordic because that's what I'm used to. That's my legacy. That's my bloodline. That's my heritage.
Guys, I'm on the podcast. Please give me time, okay?
I don't have much time left. The children are at the gate, just so you know.
That's fine. Oh crap, we're already almost at 2 hours and 30 minutes. I didn't realize that.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
It is. Hey, it's good.
I'd like to mention something too. Another thing people don't really know about, talk about, and I'll go back to organized religion trying to get a stranglehold on people and their fears. Many people have heard about the witch trials. They haven't heard about the werewolf trials.
Oh,
which
yeah.
helped spread Catholicism across Europe. And a lot of these things are based. Yes. Also, another thing is for those of us that had a phase in our life where we dabbled with psilocybin, I can tell you for a fact, because I have done copious amounts of that at one point in my life, that in that state, if you would have thrown a wolf cloak on me, I could have climbed up the side of your house. I could have leapt off the side of your house. I could have swam across a lake in 5 minutes. You don't feel anything. You are impervious to pain, and you believe. You can say, I taste tuna fish, and you'll taste tuna fish. You can say, I hear screams, and you will hear screams. You begin to tap into more of the potential of your avatar that you live in. And so, once again, I would go back to, now, I'm not saying the how do I pronounce it? The Cephasiliae, which if you go back to the ancient maps, the Cynocephali, yeah, they're real. So the dogmen, that was something that they all agreed was real. And if you want to know where to go, just go to the Galapagos and go to St. Christopher Island. That's where they are. I'm giving you that. You'll never get on the island. It's one of the only places like Antarctica where everyone universally agrees you're not allowed to go to. You're not allowed to go to. Dude, it's all right in front of you. We don't have the money and the connections to like get there. But yeah, I think that stuff is real. But at the end of the day, no. I think you take a Native American guy, you take me, actually I have Native in my blood, but just a white dude, a black dude, an Asian dude, you load us up on psilocybin and throw cloaks on us, and I guarantee we tear the town up.
Oh, yeah.
Guarantee. And we'll do it for like 6 to 8 hours before we come down and we're like, why am I so bloody? What happened to me? Yeah. Anyway.
Well, you know, like for me, I'm truly blessed. The Marine Corps taught me. So before I went into the Marines, I would be more of what you call a berserker. I would go into a blinding rage. I literally don't remember anything that happened. It's just flat out blinding berserker rage until whatever I was after was destroyed. That's just how I was. The Marine Corps taught me how to channel it, how to use it, how to repurpose it, where I became more like an Ulfanar. I can control it now, where before I wasn't. Now I don't take no potions. I didn't do no chants. It's just me snapping into this, and that's it. I mean, and I used to call it my blackout phase. That's what I called it for a long time, a blackout phase, because I'd wake up bloody, like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
That's this stuff does happen now. So I'm not telling you have to do any type of magical ritual. It can happen, but I think with the magic side, it adds a level of intensity to it.
100%. And like, let's go back to the cannibals potentially living near you. Good luck, by the way. I go back to something that everyone's heard of, which is called child soldiers. Okay. If you want to, if you gave me a bunch of human children and you said, I want you to create werewolves, I would build you a small werewolf army, because outside of the influence of everything else and under my focus, I would, between the drugs given and the training to physically perform, they would believe they were like him, to go back to what someone said, or werewolf or dogman or whatever makes you happy to talk about it. And I believe that is part of some of the things that are happening. So if you're brought up in this cannibalistic thing, well, basically you are. And I don't know about you. I grew up, I had a favorite animal. It was a wolf. So here you go. Now you're just venerating and performing like your favorite animal, your favorite superhero, super animal. And I don't say that they're not like a full, beautiful, werewolf godlike thing. I'm not saying that can't be possible. I'm just saying, when you do your research, start with how us as humans, with our beautiful imagination and our ability to transform reality around us, including ourselves, start there and cancel that out and then move on. And even with that said, I believe that, yes, that may only, the humans on drugs running around like werewolves, that may only be one small part of it. There still could be actual dog-headed people out there as well. Usually there's multiple culprits, like with Loch Ness. It's not just something in the water. There's logs, there's the way the waves crash together, there's seals. There's a lot of culprits. And I'm sure you guys all start there too. But yeah, I would say that before you go right to the awesome, like,
Well, it's like when I do an investigation, I'm trying to disprove what I find. If I can disprove it, then I'm going to say, okay, this is the possibilities of what could it be. Now it could be this. Now, depending on what happened, it's going to go, am I going to lean more towards, okay, yeah, I think this is Bigfoot, or I'll be like, no, it ain't. Like a couple deer seasons ago, I was sitting in my tree stand and I looked up and I thought I seen a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And, so I was like, what the hell? And I watched it for a little bit. I was like, okay, that's not Bigfoot. And I snapped a picture of it. So I'd done something on my show. I showed that picture. And I said, hey, what do you guys see here in this picture? And a lot of them said, hey, I see a Bigfoot. I said, that's pareidolia. It's a stump. I zoomed in. It was a stump that I forgot that was there.
Yeah.
That stuff happens often. Even in paranormal, you hear sounds. Okay, what can this be? You start eliminating stuff. Once you eliminate stuff, then you get to the truth.
Yes,
and that's
where
you got to do.
Journaling is so important. The second it happens, begin to write it, because immediately things get blurred. When you get emotional, God forbid, or anything, that blocks things out, that amplifies certain things. You get to know the person's age too. If they're younger and they say they saw it, okay, maybe. If it's an older person at night from a distance, listen, I'm about to turn 50. I'll be honest, my vision's starting to not be as good, especially at the shadow time. So, but people aren't going to lead with that. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to, no, I know what I saw. And yes, you got to carve through that to get to either parabolia or the fact that they had a genuine experience, which is awesome.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. And I think a lot of investigators and researchers don't do that no more. And that's like one of my favorite shows was Ghost Hunters, because they try to disprove everything they found.
Yeah,
that's what I liked about that show over the other ones. And huh?
No, just the other ones are for pure. They're once again playing on people's fears. Oh my God, am I going to see a demon? Everything's a demon. Everything's a demon.
I'm possessed. No.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not getting possessed by paranormal. Supernatural possessed. You paranormal's not going to possess you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but in my heart, if any of you listening are going through something and you are not enjoying it, there are ways to deal with it. And one of them, in the most basic way, is the wisdom you've already given us, Bud, which is don't think about it. Ignore it. Give it no power. I go to the movie Labyrinth. You have no power over me.
Exactly.
And once you fully believe that and fully are like, dude, knock things over, do whatever. they can't manipulate you anymore, or they have to start doing nice things to manipulate you. And then you're like, well, at least now they're like bringing me random coins from another dimension and marbles. And you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
Anyway. Just like paranormal investigations, all the time, the two main things I get right off the bat is get out or why are you here? Yeah. So I do not provoke. I am 100% against provoking because it's not me that has to deal with it. It's my client that has to deal with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not going to provoke. Yeah. I've never had to provoke to get a reaction, but I always tell them, it's like, no, I'm not going to go. I'm going to stay. Then be like, okay, why are you here? Well, I'm here to talk to you. I want to get your story. So I start talking to them like a human.
Yep.
And once they start warming up, and it's like, I mean, they just go on. It's amazing. I'm going to show you this because I know we're running short on time because you're kids. This is that thermal I was talking about. And what I didn't realize, DA had came out a few days after I caught this thermal.
Yeah.
And because he came out to the house, and right where this was, we found a bedding where one was laying down watching the house.
I love me some DA Roberts. He's awesome.
Yeah. You'll look at the center. And you'll see this tree, you'll see this hot object on kind of halfway out this tree. And then as I get just before I start to pan, you'll see it duck behind. Here.
Okay, let me see.
My God, bad. It was the second pan I was getting ready to do when I was going to the left that it ducked behind a tree. I apologize.
That's all right. It's hard for me to see. I have to have the red circle and like, okay, look here, because it all looked good. And then with that freaky, it's just an animal, but I'm like, oh yeah, there is a witch there.
Yeah, before you hear the goats going off, you hear that stuff walking in the background. That's what we heard when we got home.
Oh,
and then that's why I've got that thermal right there in the center. You'll see it kind of hanging out from that cedar tree.
Yeah.
And then I pan this way and it's still there. When I come back and I start going this way, just before I go this way, you'll see it go duck back in. It's like, then we found.
You have an amazing property. That's all I can say.
Dude, I'm blessed. I am truly, truly, truly blessed.
Well, you're meant to be there. There are no coincidences. So you're meant to be there conducting your own level of research. And eventually by reaching out like this and embracing, someone's going to come along and hopefully help you put the pieces together,
Yeah. So I thought originally my first thought was I got somebody on my property spying at me.
I think that start there. Start with the logical. Yeah.
I go out the next morning and I look and I went, I don't know of a man that's 8 foot tall. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there looking where the head was and looking at the top of that cedar tree going, yeah, I don't know an 8 foot tall man. It was, that kind of eliminated some stuff for me. And then I didn't think about it. And DA goes, hey, look right there. And I looked down and went, holy crap. And there was this massive flat spot where something had been laying down in the prone watching my house. And that is the same location that I get a lot of Bigfoot activity in, a lot of cedar trees stripped, tree manipulations, and I get the whoop, whoop from is that location where that was captured.
Something's going on there, bud.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm as giddy as a little schoolgirl every time. I'm 46 years old. I've been around this world seeing this stuff, and every single time I still go, I caught this.
Hey, we're addicted. We're addicted to the rush, to the fun, because, dude, that's literally the question. What gets you off? What makes you feel alive? And for us, it's this. It makes you feel alive.
It does.
It's pretty amazing. So what a blessing, man.
Not only that, but the interaction, my Indian Point one that's on my YouTube. Mm-hmm. We were down for our national rally in Indian Point, and I got a brother, St. Loco, who's going to be a part of the panel next Sunday. He does paranormal investigations in Kansas. So we were talking about this paranormal stuff. In fact, during my intro, you see me laying in that bed with that EMF detector going off. That was Indian Point. That was during when all the stuff was going on.
Ooh, nice.
So we're kind of showing stuff off, and all of a sudden we get a hit from a little girl. Come to find out, she was unalived by these elderly people, and these elderly people were still there too. And these elderly people was keeping this little girl and these others from talking. So me and St. Loco, we had to push them back. That was the only time I get aggressive is in a situation like that.
Yeah.
No, dude, you're not going to push me around. You're not going to push. You need to get back. And that's where you got to be forceful. Just like your home. People don't realize in your home, you have the power of that home. I can come in. You can ask me to come and get rid of the spirits in your house. I don't have the power that you have. And without your permission, I can't do crap.
Mm-hmm.
I can help, and it's going to take a long time if I got your permission. You there, you taking a charge while I'm doing it, that's what's going to help it be better. Just like I've been attacked live on here. Doing a live, I've been attacked by negative entities in my home during a live.
Wow.
And I was on William's show actually when it happened the last time. And I didn't even think about hitting mute. And I was already, you get the hell out of my home. This is my home. You have no, I was bam, bam, bam. And you have to do that. But that's not, there's got to be more than that involved. That's just how you kind of push them back. But you got to have more stuff involved to keep it out.
Yep.
That's the first step is you got to take control of your home. So, and that's something that we forget about in a lot of the stuff here. Even so my guest will tell me, it's like, hey, you don't need to be in the woods. So if I get that feeling, I need to stay out. It's probably because they're hunting or they're training or they're doing whatever. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't go in the woods unless I absolutely have to. Yeah. Now, am I packing pretty heavy when I'd have to? Yes. Have I been messed with? No, because they know that, okay, he ain't got no choice to be out here. He's going to be quick. He's going to be out. So I've never had a negative reaction when that comes to that. The only time I've had a negative reaction is when I had that film crew here. And they got pissed. They did not like that I had new people here. And Ron had done a howl. I've never done howls. I don't do calls. I've never had to here, so I've never done it here. And he did. And you'll see me during that documentary as we're leaving the woods, I stop. And then I look towards the river because it was instantaneous. I had that feeling, what are you doing? Who's these strangers here doing this? What are you guys doing? What are you doing in our woods? This is not you.
Did you let them know you were going to do that?
No, I didn't. I didn't think about that.
And
so
maybe it's that simple. Respect, right? Again,
it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I kind of preach on it because I learn from mistakes.
Oh yeah.
I'm not an expert by no means. I'm a student. I'll be a student until the day I die. I'm a student. That's what I am. Yep. And I learned. I was excited. Hey, I'm in my first documentary. This is going to be awesome. Wow, somebody's actually taking me serious, and they don't look at me as like, hey, there's that stupid fat hillbilly. It's like, dude, this guy's got some stuff.
You're not speaking negatively of yourself. Don't do that.
I know, but that's literally what goes through my head sometimes. Yeah. And so I was so upset with myself when that happened, and I didn't have activity for 2 weeks here on my property. That's not happened since I took over this property. 2 weeks of absolutely zero activity out here. So from then on, I was like, okay, I'm not bringing nobody out here no more. I've upsetted these guys by doing this.
Yeah. Well, or just if you ever do it again, just let them know. Be like, and give them plenty of time, heads up to be like, hey, if you don't want to be here, we're going to be here for the weekend, and we're going to be looking around. And I'm telling you, it changes everything. It does.
Yeah. And it makes sense because I've been at areas where I've got the feeling where it's like, who are you and what are you doing here? And I'll be like, and one thing I say, hey, I'm here in peace. I mean no harm. I just want to get to know you and more about you.
Yeah.
That's something I do. Like another practice you got to do is like every time I finish with a paranormal investigation, you'll hear me say it on my videos every single time. Thank you for communicating with me, interaction with me. I'm truly blessed. I hope to see you again. But when I leave, you do not have my permission to attach yourself to me or my equipment. You have to stay in these doors once I leave these doors. Mm-hmm. You cannot follow me home. And that's something that a lot of people don't do either. And they wonder why they get activity in their home when they've never had it before after doing a paranormal investigation. You have to let them know you do not have your permission to attach yourself to me or my equipment. You must stay here once I leave these doors.
And that is it. And that's an interesting thing to touch upon because to me, that's fear-based, right? Because you don't want them coming back and messing with you and all that stuff. But like I said, in my very humble opinion at this point, if you go and investigate a good area and you have activity, they're coming back no matter what. But it's not them that are there. It's something else that works with them that is going to come and check you out. It just is. It is the way it is. But what then happens next is, do you give it power?
Yeah.
It needs power over you. It's
keyword.
Yeah. And if you do not give it power, or you go right back into your life and you don't even really think about any of that stuff, your chances of that happening are very slow. You better have gone into a hive and like there you got the hornets pissed. But outside of that, because I do I'm different. Okay. I do crazy stuff. I don't want to know anything about the area I'm about to go in, because my imagination is crazy and I will scare the shit out of myself. So I don't want to know. So I go in and I do that. And I also don't do the prayer circles that they all do where they shield themselves and all. I don't do any of that. I don't, because I give them no power. You're not allowed and you can't. And if you're physically, so if you're going to mess with my life, then you got to take me on, and they will never do that. Whatever this is, either isn't physical, or I'm not a big enough name with a big enough voice for the powers to be to take me out. So that's not going to happen. So what you're dealing with needs your fear to mess with you. And I just refuse. And what I would do is, like you, I get giddy, I get curious. I'm like, oh my God, you're here? Like, you came? Okay, well, this is great. Let me bake you a pie. I'm going to put a pie out there if you're a Bigfoot. A house, what can I do? Or here's a marble. I'm going to leave the marble here. You can move it if you want. Play, like you're my new group. This is exciting. They don't want anything to do with that. They just, they don't want anything to do with that. They don't want to
I always take protection with me, because you never know what you're going to deal with. Now, I won't wear this unless I absolutely have to, because this can actually, it's a medicine bag. This can actually keep me from having an interaction.
There you go. Yeah.
But I have this close by in case I need it. Now, what's sad was when I got ran out of the woods in that werewolf investigation, I forgot this at home.
You did not have it. Yep.
I did not have it. But usually if dealing with something supernatural, I'm taking this with me because this is my protection.
And that is why, once again, just my opinion. I always say that I am a student as well, learning, but it's what we give power to. So that bag represents strength. That is a bazooka of sorts. Kill anything coming at you. You give it power. So therefore, when you hold it up, that's why saying the Lord's name when you are scared. My mother used to do that. Be scared to death. She'd have visions of these shadow creatures and stuff. The second she said Jesus Christ, it would end. Now, some would say that's because God is powerful and all that, which could be. But I'm going to say, no, it's because that's your bazooka. That's your RPG. And once you fire it, it's over, because that destroys everything, because you give it power. Just like the reason they can mess with you is because you give them power. And that's it, and that's, until that's proven different, which, watch my next expedition, I'll be back on the show. I'll be like, dude, I am scared to death. They followed me home. They won't leave me alone. Nothing's working. But I don't ruminate on that. I don't, that's not my interest. I seek truth. And I think if you're truly in it to seek truth and not just get scared, you're going to be messed with less, because they know what your intention is. And your intention is to find out exactly what they are. And they don't want that, whatever it is. Anyway, I got to get rocking, man. I
was about to say, we're getting a 3-hour mark. Did you have any closing remarks you wanted to say? I'm handling something real quick, but
Just to all of you, like, I love you. You are more powerful and a better investigator than you even know. We're all isolated in our little pockets, and we get to come together for certain awesome things, like in Missouri, or the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference is coming up in June. And if you can get to any of those gatherings with people like us, go. Like, just go and be around people for a little while. You can be around people that want to hear about it, that believe you, that may even have answers for you. But more importantly, you can be a part of your tribe. And I wish that for all of you, because we do. We all live in our little pockets. It's not like there's a town called Haunting Town and we all live there together, which would be awesome. If somebody rich enough can build one, I will come live there and we'll investigate all the time together. But in the long run, it's like, you're not alone. Your life is worth it. A lot of people with this, especially with mental health issues and struggling, they are ruminating in the negative, which people say draws it, attracts it and stuff. I'm going to tell you, you're giving power. You're creating it. It doesn't matter which way it's coming, it's happening. But you're worth it. Your life is worth it. Things will get better, and find your tribe, because the problem in our culture is that we've lost the connection. We don't have the rites of passage anymore, and we don't have the support of our brothers and sisters in our family. Go find it. And once you do, you will have the armor of God on you, and there is nothing that will stop you from protecting yourself and also from finding the truth. And that's it.
So, RPG, thank you so much for coming on. I was so happy that we was finally able to get everything to work. You have an open invitation to my channel at any time. So anytime you want to come on and do a topic, just let me know, man. I'll have you on anytime. I've been truly blessed and thankful. And I love the insight. I love hearing other people's thoughts and opinions about this stuff, because it's like I tell people all the time.
Yeah.
If we all thought the same, believed the same, spoke the same, and acted the same, and dressed the same, we'd be pretty damn boring.
Boring as hell. And I love that about you, sir, and everyone listening. I'm sure you're the same way. It is okay to disagree. It's okay to have two completely different theories on this, but never let that get in the way of you teaming up with your brothers and sisters to find the truth. That's it. That's it, man. It's this simple. So it is an honor to be on your show. Thank you for your patience. My life is wild and crazy, as you saw at the start of this. Sorry to be dramatic, but
you're good.
It was an honor, and I will see you back in Missouri.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. You take it easy, man, and we'll catch up.
Yes, we will.
Everybody, I want to give a special shout out to my new subscribers, to my OGs. Thank you very much. I am so thankful and blessed that you come in and listen to this old hillbilly talk about stuff. You guys are great. I'm thankful. Give a shout out to my mods, Corey, William, Roxanne. Sorry, I had a brain fart for a second. They helped me get the show going and keep it going. So I'm truly, truly blessed for them, guys. Thank you so much. Next week, I do have the Q&A panel going on. I've got the panelists. They are lined up. I know I haven't done one in a little over a year, so we do have that next Sunday. Hope to see you there. My new book, if you haven't realized, Reign of the Draugr, Dawn of Armageddon, that takes place in St. Joe, Missouri during 2019, is out and available. It is published. So, I hope to see you guys soon. And I'm going to put a author's workshop show coming up soon, where I'm working on my current one, The People's Sentinel, The Rise of a Soldier, that takes place right after Rome left Britannia. So that's the current book I'm working on. I will have a show later on this week, possibly even tomorrow, because I'm off tomorrow, working on that. So if you guys see that pop up, I hope to see you there. Until next time, everybody, is like I always say, peace, love, and blessings to you all. And I'll see you later. Goodbye. Get this to working. Oh, my computer's being slow.
Shadows where whispers hum. The air is thick where the strange things come. Behind the curtain where the fearless go. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. Dare to tread where the darkness hides. Your pulse will race, your breath will freeze in this realm of uncanny mysteries. Dare to tread where the darkness hides. Through the cracks of the world's thin sides. Join if you will take the dare. Where we learn of things that scare. The bizarre wears a wicked grin. Its world pulls you slowly in. But once you're here, you'll never